let's get this party started. 1 second, hey. Good evening, universe. Once again, it's Alex Soto with another edition of Articulate Barbarian. And we have a special guest that I guess this is the first time he'll be on the show, but we actually recorded a podcast before and somehow it got fucked up. Ladies and gentlemen, he hates it when I call him this, the people's champ, Chudeusz.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing?
So this guy already has a podcast. Why don't you go ahead and plug your bullshit real quick?
Yeah, you can check out my podcast. It's called Yeah, I Said It. I do it with my best friend, Kamal, and we basically talk about pop culture and comics and movies and sci-fi and whatever else pops into our twisted heads at the time. It's a lot of fun. You can get it on iTunes or Stitcher or Podbean.com. It's called Yeah, I Said It. I'm also... I do another podcast on Anchor.fm called I Watch Movies.
Are you still on that
I'm still doing it. It hasn't been as consistent as I'd like when I got sick and everything, and I got the flu, and I was fucking...
He got the HIV.
Fuck, I was down for 10, 12 days. It was horrible.
I will tell you this. When I say go ahead and plug your bullshit, he has 20,000 followers on his podcast. So, and I think we just broke 100.
Oh, nice.
So, and my goal is 1 million. So we've got quite a bit of work to do. But
it's a slow build, and it's with every podcast. It's always a slow build, and it's just getting it out there and being consistent. That's the biggest thing, is consistency. Like if you are gonna make one a week, make one a week. If you're going to make 2 a week, make 2. If you're going to do one every day, well, you better be on it, because you start missing your schedule, people start falling off.
So you know what happened? Just let me give you a little, because I haven't mentioned this to you, and I'm not going to get into detail. But first of all, I'm getting hundreds of views because of, and I don't know if this is normal, but because I have large numbers in social media platforms, and then I advertise them in those platforms like Facebook, and I'll post the newest podcast. So a lot of my followers, because I'm maxed out at 5,000 on Facebook, will watch it, listen to it, whatever, and then they don't make the next step, which is like and subscribe. So it's a process that I'm trying to get.
Well, I mean, you could always at the end of the podcast be like, well, if you like the video, please make sure you hit that like button, and if you really liked it, please subscribe. Yeah, I mean, you're not begging them. You're just giving them the, hey.
Oh, no. Actually, I need to do it because I forget.
Right.
And I'm, we're all learning as we go. But check this out.
If you like this podcast, hit that like button. If you really like it, subscribe.
And by the time his shit, his bullshit, his useless crap that has 20,000 followers, by the time we upload this, all his links and shit will be underneath.
Links.
You can click over. The reason why I called you here today, Mr. Chudeusz,
got a little Turkish blend in my mouth there.
Oh, that damn Turkish blend. That's what you get when you get that unfiltered.
Those Turks. Unfiltered Turks.
Jesse, actually, I'll say it, and then I want to talk about some other shit, and then we'll get into the reason why I asked you to come here tonight.
Okay.
Jesse and I both worked for the same corporation. I was a manager. He was a clerk, stock clerk, for a major retail grocery store. However, I don't want to talk about the name. I have nothing bad to say.
No.
But when was your last day?
Friday. Friday was my last day.
And you worked for how many years?
15 years. 15 years. It's weird, dude, because sometimes one day you wake up and you're just like, how long have I been here? It's like a prison sentence in a way. Like you're doing time. And it's not enjoyable, because if you're not doing what you love, then it's not enjoyable. And if it's not enjoyable, I don't think in long term it's worth it.
We came up with this whole thing that last October I retired from the same job. I only had 12 years in, and he had 15. And as we get into this, I want to talk about things that I saw that were reasons why I decided to leave. One of which is because I wanted to, pursue my dream, but it's as a result of my needing to find this dream for me to pursue was birthed from things changing in my life at the time while I was in management with this company. Their policy changes, their directional changes, and their future plans did not seem to jive with the original blueprint of the company. Now, I'm again, nothing against the company specific. What I'm concerned about is what I saw, is what I see and hear in every avenue, in every part of business, in everywhere that I look.
Well, it's just like another major retail chain, that we know of that, like, once the family's gone that started the company, like think about Walmart's Walmart, but Sam Walton's still, not Sam, maybe he's dead, I don't know. Is Sam Walton still alive?
Dead as
fuck. Who the
fuck.
hell knows? Dead as fuck?
Dead as fuck.
There you go. He gone. So anyway, it's still running like he wanted to, because they've always just been straight dicks. So it does,
Well, the thing is there was a change where the original family that owned the company, the last family member that was of the bloodline retired, and this was the first time a new person, not new to the company, but new to that he wasn't in the family, took over as chairman of the board, I guess, CEO, whatever.
It's just
number one seat. But he immediately started changing things. But let's get into that here in a second. One of the things, though, that it's those things that they took away the quarterly bonus, which was like an outward thing. But the thing before that, there was a computer program implemented that's across the board. A lot of companies are using it. It's not, but the companies everyone went and figured out, hey, with technology can streamline our business so that we can save money and make money. And then, but here's the part that I was having the problem with. Make money, save more profit, but then don't distribute that profit to the employee. Let's start changing the policy to where we cut out the bonuses, the pay grade changes so that it's a flat pay raise. Then there's already implementations of the computer says, based on the facts of the last 20 years or 5 years, sales says on average you will only make guesstimated X amount of dollars for the day based on this day for the last 5 years. And then it says you only need X amount of employees to be able to do that job. But
it doesn't just do that, though, because if you don't, like next year, if you've done it with less people and less hours the previous year, it gives you even less the next year because it wants you to raise your productivity of those same people. It keeps wanting to squeeze blood from a stone, and you're just not going to be able to keep doing that and be successful. You got to have people in place. You can't just be like.
And the irony is, squeeze blood from the rock, but not to redistribute said blood to the tribe. Keep the fucking blood and hold on to the blood, and then make and then on top of that, there are outside problems, which I was in a deli. He was in stock. He dealt with dry rectangles on shelves. I dealt with fresh. The policy changes because people would want to sue. They changed the policy so much into so many different levels at the deli department level that the job, the amount of responsibilities an employee had tripled. And then they cut the labor down.
Yeah.
And then they basically say the manager role, whatever employee's space that needed to be filled, the manager can then fill that with their time. Taking the management responsibilities away from that person because they're too tied up trying to wait on customers. They cut, and then here's the thing. Then they change the bonus structure to where the employee level no longer gets bonuses. Assistants get assistant manager, and above that. And now you're telling me that they're getting ready to take the assistant?
I mean, that's always the rumors and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, but but a lot of times lately they've been right. And but this is really a change. We'll
Don't break my
candelabra. This is
Why
really
don't you
a change.
move that? Because I've already broke that bitch once.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
See, that's what you get. You're gonna fuck up my candle. All right.
Here at the casting couch. Anyway, so
I'm not fucking you.
Thank God for that. The thing is, this was like a first sex toy right here by cavemen. They were fucking retards. They fucking made squares instead of circles. Anyway, so it's what it is. It's a bigger change that I think is systemic across all of corporate America, and it really started after the economy took a shit in 2008. So many people lost their jobs. There were so many people that were skilled laborers and stuff like that couldn't get back into that industry. And they were forced to take jobs wherever. We had a lady working in the deli that was a chemical engineer and shit like that, but gone. So, you know, people have to get jobs. They have to work. And I think every company realized that it was an employer's market. They just had so many people to choose from. If you didn't like fucking working there for whatever the hell they wanted you to work for, fucking see you later, buddy. We got somebody to take your place. The difference is now the economy is in a different place. And I think it's time for corporations to start chasing their employees again and not us chasing them the other way around. Because, dude, I saw today that there's in a video on Facebook about this vegan butcher shop. Now this is cool because you did a show for what are the black vegans?
Well, they're not just black people that are vegans.
I thought it was all black vegans.
No, it's just a bunch of young black people, much white people, but there's a lot of black people in the group. I never once said Nor 17, Royce Ashcroft, Amari. That's this fool. He don't know. He don't know. It's a dope ass.
I thought it was like an all black Baptist church, except they were vegans. I thought it was a club.
But if you'd be so kind as to remove that nasty big foot out your mouth, please explain to me a vegan butcher shop.
Okay,
you sparked my interest.
Okay, it was actually a really brilliant idea. This guy and his girlfriend, they had been making their own vegan meats and substitutes. And
so in other words, they're just making vegan-based food that tastes like meat.
Well, no. It doesn't taste like meat. It's not designed to taste like meat, but they're making it look like the meats and they're making it look like the cheeses, which is really cool. But it's their own artisanal blends of ingredients that they've crafted that they make their meat out of. So they were doing it at a farmer's market at first, and then somebody noticed them and said, and they told him their idea, and he was like brilliant because he was a vegan guy and he was an investor, and he was like, let's do it. So they opened up the shop, and it's just like a butcher shop where you see all the different deli meats and cheeses, except it's all substituted stuff, man, but it's like brilliantly done, and it tastes amazing. People say the flavors are ridiculous, and there's even people that aren't vegans that go in there and buy this stuff because it's awesome. So these people have taken a concept that's so outlandish, like this, the innovation of this generation and how they did it, how they got the funding for it, when they did the farmers market, was crowdfunding. They went to crowdfunding to do all of that, and then they blasted it on social media. It's like if you can master this viral social media marketing, you can go anywhere you want to go. That's where it's coming to. And when you have these companies just starting up and booming out of nowhere in industries that didn't even exist, they filled a need you probably didn't even know that we had. And bless you. And they're out there killing it. When I see stuff like that, I see promise and I see the future. When I see what these giant corporations are doing, is I see control and just not wanting to create a culture that people want to come to work in. Like, they want to be there because they feel like it's a part of their family. Like that whole family culture that we had at the company we worked for just feels like it's completely gone. Like, it doesn't exist anymore. It's just a corporate soulless entity that doesn't care about you.
One of the things that I've noticed was funerals.
Maybe they never did.
Whenever associates, whether the husband or somebody who worked in one of the departments, and that somebody died.
Yeah.
And how they used to send one person from each store within 20-something miles to the store so that the department can take time and go grieve and to go to the funeral. Those little things, those personal things. You know what I mean? Or
when you're in management and you get really sick and you still feel like you have to be there because you know if you call in, it's going to look bad on you getting promoted. Then why do you have sick pay? If you're shunned and looked down upon for using it.
I lost some bucks because I couldn't use it all fast enough. Yeah. Because I had so much left over because I wasn't allowed to go home. They wouldn't let me go home. I said I have to go home because I'm not feeling good. No. That was the answer. No.
See, and but they can't stop you. That's another thing too. And companies can't tell you to cut overtime. They can ask you. If they tell you to cut overtime, it's actually illegal. They can get in trouble for that. So keep that in mind when you're working for these companies. If they tell you you have to cut that, well, like, I earned it though. Like, why am I cutting this voluntarily?
I think that corporate America, I mean, we can just spend the next 3 or 4 hours
for sure
hiring young people, putting them in positions of management, grinding them through like a meat grinder. If they don't make the cut, they're done. Bring in 10 more. And the old guys with the wisdom, the men and women who served in the trenches, who did the warfare, who knew what they were getting into, who would do whatever it took to get it done. My old department manager told me she did 25 Mother's Days in a row in the parking lot because she was always working on Mother's Day, so they would always come and they'd have this little cupcake and they'd light up candle and they would have this silly little annual 25 years straight. And she's one of the few that made it to the other side. Shout out Marie Gores. But like I said, that company, it used to be like, it was in the, because we're wide open. I live right by the Villages, Florida, a large retirement community, and it used to be part of the weekly to-do list. Like, it was nothing to see a little old couple or an old man or woman that would come in 3, 4, 5 times a week. Spend money 3, 4, 5 times a week. Why? Because that was your local neighborhood department grocery store, retail grocery store. It wasn't the cheapest one in town. They were the most expensive in town. But it's because how we were trained to. It was one of those things where the guy described it as, one of my old managers, store managers, would describe it as when a person comes into the store, look at them as a package full of real, like, expensive, fragile stuff. You take them and you carry it and you hand it gently to the next department, and they bring it over very personally. Now it's a conveyor belt.
A little bit,
Yeah, play with the balls. Now it's a conveyor belt. Drop it in, fast, efficient. There doesn't need to be personality. And then it was told to me to my face that it was us and our big competitor. The big competitor actually downloaded that program, quote unquote, installed that program that revolutionarily made our store more efficient. The biggest competitor in the world and the biggest competitor in that market started it before we did. It was told to my face, if we were a 7 and they were a 5, it evenly pisses off enough people to where you lose brownie points. At the same time, both companies drop down in customer satisfaction. So he explained to me that if one was a 7, one was a 5, and they dropped down 2, now our company's a 5, but the other company's a 3. And even though they're not satisfied with, they're dissatisfied
with the 5.
With the 5, it's still better than the 3. Right. And oh my God, if this one has gotten bad, you should see this one. They've gone really bad. The only ironic thing though is the 3 is a lot less expensive.
Oh, for sure.
So that's where you might end up going 3.
The 3 might not necessarily be less expensive. Let's look at Winn-Dixie for a minute. If you want to talk about grocery chains.
Not one of the 3. I mean, it is one of the 3, but not one of the ones we used to work for.
No, what I'm saying is not. I'm just talking in general. You're talking about, look at Winn-Dixie though. They've been bought out 3 separate times. Now they're going to get bought out again by a new holding company, but their prices are more expensive than their competitors. Why? If anybody should be offering dirt cheap prices, it's you, but you're not. Your stuff's outrageous, and then you got to have a little safeguard.
Right,
to even get the shit.
That Winn-Dixie card sucks donkey dick.
Well, and that's how they get you in there, and then you get the fuel points, and then you can fill it up, and you get like 20 cents off in taxes or some shit.
It doesn't need to be that complicated.
But you're spending the money on the food. That's the problem.
Right.
You're not getting that gas cheap. You're fucking spending that money on the food.
Shout out Aldi's.
Fucking Aldi's is, you know what, man? Fucking Aldi's is the shit. I'll tell you that right now. I like Aldi's. I'll tell you what, first time I walked in there and I was walking down the shampoo aisle And same bottle, so you know it's the same shit. They just didn't put the name brand logo on it. They just left it off as it went through the assembly line. You look at it, instead of Garnier Fructis, it just says fucking Fructis. And I was like, hey, done and done. If she don't like it, fuck her. This is good shit. You know?
And also too, the quality of the food is good quality. And
yeah, it's not Save-A-Lot.
Well, and the thing about it is
we're gonna get sued by every grocery chain and retail store in the country.
Well, the thing about it though, what I find funny about Save-A-Lot, and depending on if you're in a small town, if the local grocery store says Hitchcock's on it, you're in a small motherfucking town in Florida. But you go to Hitchcock's, you go to Save-A-Lot.
Come on down here to Hitchcock's.
And you buy a bundle of grapes. And those motherfucking grapes look good. There's no rotten spots. They're purple. And every motherfucking one of them don't taste right. They don't taste like fucking grapes. They taste like watered down ass grapes. And I'm like, how the hell can you get an entire grove of grapes to not taste right? They don't taste right. And I just think that's amazing because if you grew up in a small town, shout out.
Those are the
shout out Citra. Shout out Citra. Who else? What are the little towns? Stark. Dick's Wings in the house. What is the other little shit towns? Itchatutney. If you're in that motherfucker, Williston, I think has a Hitchcock's. You fuck around and if you grew up, you only lived up the street. You think grapes taste like that? They don't taste like that, folks. I'm just saying. I've always wondered that about Hitchcock's and Save-A-Lot. You go to Aldi's, and the first thing that people criticize is, it's all prepackaged. Well, guess what, smart Einstein? Everyone's going to prepackaged. You know why? Because they want to get rid of employees. So that's the next transitional step.
I don't like
this
that.
This is the segue.
See, but I don't like that when it comes to meat. That's what that will send me to another store so I can get fresh.
Yeah, but guess what? Even Publix is fixing to change. I'll edit that out. Even that particular store is fixing to change. I've already been informed. I've seen the information. So because
that's bad. That's a bad idea.
Well, yeah, but here's the deal. Everyone across the board is going to do it. So the only one that's left, the local butcher shop. You'll be able to go to a local butcher and get a cut of meat the way you want it. But here's the other step.
Yeah, but you know what though? Here's the thing. And I think it'd be great if there was a lot of local butchers. And up around here, there's quite a few. There's a lot of places where there's not a fucking local butcher though.
No, there's not. Then you get packaged meat. That's all.
That's fuck. If I'm buying a steak, fucker, it ain't gonna be prepackaged.
Unless there's no fresh cuts and that's all we got, because this guy ain't gonna put a cow in his backyard to cut.
No, I would only buy it if it was fresh cuts. I don't buy prepackaged.
I'm also. Means that one of the things that a lot of times, and this is something that you and I also could look into together, because I think the value is if 4 people buy in on it, but we get a big freezer, or freezers in every house. It's none of my business what you do with it, but the thing is here locally, you can buy a half a cow, a half a pig, because we live in the fucking country. And ironically, and you know what, here's the funny thing, like I'll go and price a pig up the street, right? There's a Colombian dude that's got some fire ass pigs, and you go over there and you order a half a pig, right? And the people get pissy who go to shop from him because they're like, what the fuck? That's what it costs in the grocery store. Yeah. Assuming the guy who actually is killing himself to feed one fucking pig spend however long it takes to make a pig fat. But here's the trick though. It's local, or it's here's the grain. Organic, no. Well, actually,
it's locally sourced.
No.
It's all natural.
Actually, the Colombian he's the guy who gets all the scraps from said grocery store in the produce department. Yeah. And feeds them just that, and feeds them used to feed them the stuff from the deli, but they stopped doing that. But the point is, the guy. You don't have them where, you don't even want to research if you don't know farm harvesting, farm cattle where they're all shoved into one pen. And the reason why, did you know that beef, steak, even the like ribeyes and shit, that marbling is not supposed to be there?
I don't give a fuck, that's what I want is that marbling.
No, but that's only because we've been programmed to think that's what we want. because we've been raised to think. Now here's the deal: you buy that same steak, and it was raised on a farm where it got to roam around on its own and stuff like that. And you get the same fucking cut of meat. There will be some fat in it, but it'll be like 20% compared to the 80% that's going to be missing. But the meat still melts in your mouth because it's the particular cut of the meat. The point is, though, we can get into that breakdown detail, but farm to table. If you live in an area that, one of my jokes is we have this big 6-lane highway, but there's a warning tractor crossing sign. So it's like we're a big small town. Not where we live. I'm talking about the town that we're connected to is the bigger town. But long story short, too late, farm to table if you have that option. Which that's the next thing we as a articulate barbarian is going to be getting into with. I'm fucking getting 15 chickens delivered in a box. Did you know you buy fucking chickens in a crate and you order them online and you just .com and here comes chickens? Isn't that some shit?
I mean, you're going to have articulate barbarian chickens.
Well, they are going to be articulate barbarian chickens, but I'm not selling them.
Dude, no,
I'm not branding the chickens.
No,
I'm giving away eggs.
Your logo is a chicken and a guillotine, and shit's just coming down.
Well, what about? Oh, but you know what I could do?
The chicken's looking up like it's fucking. It knows.
What is that? Eggland's Best, the EB.
Yeah.
I could put an articulate barbarian. Like I could get a little stamp, put them on the egg. But they're free, so why the fuck would I give them away? I mean, why the fuck would I go through all the trouble? But my game plan is
feed them all organic grain, and
that's what we're doing.
They can be organic chicken eggs.
That's what they are.
Yes, but you better be careful. You got to get a license that says.
No. I'm not selling them. This is just look. Picture.
Are you giving them away?
Yes. You're gonna fucking come get them, dumbass. I've been telling you this for months. You've never heard this? This is the first you've heard of my 15 chickens. Chickens get 2 to 4 eggs a day, so I'll have between 30 and 60 eggs a day.
Shit, man, I can't do math.
Okay, so here's the deal.
Not right now.
There's gonna be those, the double door plastic that holds the rakes and shit, but all plastic. Open it up, and there's gonna be a metal box welded to the fucking base of it, cemented into the ground with a slide hole with a padlock that you can throw $1 or $2 in if you like. There's gonna be a stack of the egg cartons. You simply go in and you get the eggs yourself, which is you just reach in through the door and grab them right out of like the old days. There'll be a hinge.
Why don't you just have them bring their own egg cartons?
Whatever. I don't care. So the point is you can come get whatever eggs you want. Every day, all you want.
Right.
Everybody.
Dude, I can't wait till you get that fucking crackhead that shows up and is like, hey man, did you do the goddamn eggs?
I can't wait to see one of those crackheads attempt to break that super heavy duty welded metal box with the big padlock, because the deal is there's going to be a camera on it to watch, But long story short,
man, that crackhead just grabbed a whole box.
No, it's going to be welded and then concreted into the ground.
Crackhead pick that whole thing up and go.
That's possible.
Concrete and all.
I can picture that too, yeah. But we're going to get the chickens, and they're going to make the eggs, and I'm giving them away. I'm going to eat. I eat this. I'm actually on. Okay, so I talked about this on the last podcast. Let me throw this out there so you could. I'm getting on the bandwagon, but I'm doing it mostly as much for myself as for the universe. But I'm going to start a diet vlog because I have 6 weeks until our big, actually it'll be the April 14th show. You're at the March show. But at April 14th, I'm hoping you'll be there for some assistance would be nice because I need extra bodies on deck. And if there's supposed to be a cash out, so I will gladly pay you for your services. But
listen, man, you can tell me that stuff later because I don't even know.
Because you Turkish blended out.
Shit.
Hold it together, young man. No, but what I'm telling you is, I got 6 weeks
right now
until my April show, and I have to lose 30 pounds, 5 pounds a week for 6 weeks.
Better hop to it, motherfucker.
So, starting tomorrow Monday, but I've been going to the gym every day this week, and I explained to the last guy, the jiu-jitsu guy who was on my show, I'm explaining to him yada yada yada. I would go in the morning, run for an hour, maximum resistance on the elliptical, and then I'd hit the weights in the evening. All week, the closest I've gotten to an hour is like 38 and change, and that's with 15, not 25 resistant.
Damn. Yo, Kamal quit going to that gym because there was too many old man balls. He said every time he was going into the shower and shit, there'd just be all
Which gym is this?
fucking say one you went to.
Anytime?
No, not anytime.
That's where I went.
I thought you went up to the other one in Bellevue.
To Your Health.
Yeah.
There's man balls like a motherfucker. To Your Health. I grew up at To Your Health.
Dude.
You know what? I was about to bust Kamal's ass. Be like, what the hell? But no. At To Your Health Spa in Bellevue. Shout out To Your Health. Y'all been there forever. Less than $150 a year. It is really a great value. And Kamal, I love you like a brother, bro, but tighten the fuck up. Don't look at the man balls because $150 a year, you have to have some strings attached. It's not like they're a bunch of gay dudes fucking in the stalls.
Dude, some of them, you can't even, like, they come walking towards you and all you see is like a fucking giant, like, fur monster. And you're like, what the fuck is going on?
But you know what, man? I'm a grown-ass man. I ain't worried the least bit. I don't go letting my balls sag around nobody. And I ain't lying. I don't think it's appropriate.
Who's the comedian that had the whole bit about it and you fucking powdering your balls? Jim Norton.
Yeah, Jim Norton.
He's not wrong. There's fucking dudes in there that are just like, tank.
Listen, man. I ain't gonna lie. To Your Health Spa got a lot of old man balls. They do. But
they'd be in a hot tub like an old stew. It was fucking gross.
Now, I will tell you this, and I bitched about it the last podcast, and I think I'm going to continue bitching about it, even though I support Anytime Fitness, and I'm a fan, and I go.
It's too much motherfucking money.
It's a lot of money. And here's the deal. I recently went and worked out at Planet Fitness.
Yeah, I think I'm going back to them.
But the closest Planet Fitness, though, is...
Leesburg.
Well, to you is Leesburg. To me would be the Shores.
Yeah.
But the problem, though, is it's fucking long way. That's a long way.
Oh,
I'll go to Your Health Spa if I ever change gyms because my schedule's changed now, so I don't need to shower weird hours. But Planet Motherfucking Fitness has a pretty nice operation.
Oh, it does.
I went to the one in Tampa. Shout out Ben Evans, Temple Terrace, Planet Fitness. They let the guests work out for free, no questions asked, ever. That's kind of cool. And then the equipment, right? So I'm like, all right, well, $10 a month. It's got to be like booty ass, like off-brand generic shit. Dude, it's the exact same shit as Anytime. Exact same name, exact same equipment, except there's purple. And there's 10 of them. Because these things are huge.
Yeah, I know.
I know you know. I'm talking to the universe.
Oh, they know.
I know they know. But the point I'm trying to make, though, I like you Anytime, but I don't love you. I never once did I ever say I'll kill for your ass. I'm just saying, y'all need to tighten up.
The one thing that irritated me about Planet Fitness, though, was that, like, that whole fucking,
eat pizza for free day?
No, we're in like you can't make any noise, gym, fucking whatever. And I look, I'm the first guy to admit, I hate those fucking dudes that are like, oh, give me one more, bro, one more. You know, they're pushing it like some fucking serious.
They have something on the wall about that. Now, I don't think they say you can't do it, but they highlight it as a negative.
They are fucking Nazis about it. Like, if you even, like, at your last one, just go, like some motherfucker maybe like, hey now, and it's like, dude, come on, for real.
Planet Fitness, I'm gonna let you know right now, if I grunt and you call me out and I'm a member there, I will stay a member there and you will not do it again.
This is a judgment-free zone.
Right. And then,
okay?
But you talking to me is judging me.
Respectful.
Right, go fuck yourself. But yeah, it says, I think they call it a lunk. I think they're called lunks. But they at the one in Tampa.
I'm good.
And the one in Tampa. Are you really fucked up?
No, I'm just saying I'm
like, cause like I see people that get high, and I envy how high they can get still.
I'm decent.
Like, I'm high. Don't get it twisted. But at no point have I ever, like, I remember when I used to, when I was younger, get so high that, remember, like, everything would be tunnel visioned out, and you'd be like, oh my God, I don't get that, bro. I don't. Even with the goody good or the midi mid or whatever of the Turkish blend, I don't get that way anymore. Dr. Dorn's coming.
Yeah, I mean sometimes I just like to be cool, man. You know.
Did I tell you I'm starting a radio station?
He's starting a radio station.
Radio
yeah,
show.
you did tell me radio show. Yeah, absolutely. It should be entertaining.
I want you to be with me on this.
What on the radio?
Yeah, just his little bit parts and shit. Angie is gonna be. Well, we'll already be launched by the time this episode pops, but she and I are the ones, and she's gonna be the front runner. Fashion, entertainment, because they already have a comedian on the show that we're trying to get a gig with.
Yeah.
Dude, let me tell you how. You ever seen the movie American Gangster?
Yeah.
Okay, that black guy,
Denzel
Washington's character, they said that he would go into a room,
Frank Wright, yeah,
and think about a plot, and break it down, and work every angle out, without writing it down, and have a plan and a plot and a place put together, a strategy. Sometimes he would sit in that room for a year, putting this plan together. That's how crazy this dude was about this shit. So, listen to the mad scientist work. So the mad scientist says, we're going to have Dr. Dorn, Medical Marijuana Treatment Center, the dude who wrote the law in Florida, the doctor who helped write the law in Tallahassee, is going to be on this show soon. Shout out Dr. Dorn, shout out MMTC, shout out CEC, Cannabis Education Center. Dude, all these are coming down the pipe.
You know there's some dudes out there going, that's the doctor, man. That's the guy.
Dude, dude, this doctor and I are talking. I'm going to my follow-up, and we're having a conversation, and he says, quote, just don't get caught in the car with Bud. That's a fucking doctor talking to me. I said, dude, if you come on my show, I'm going to get a limited time offer t-shirt. It says, Dr. Dorn says, don't get caught with Bud in your car. Because that's like the most normal shit a doctor has ever said to me in my life. Just don't get caught with Bud in your car. That's some gangster shit.
There's some all like hippie doctors and shit.
He's not a hippie doctor. That's the trick.
No?
The dude doesn't even smoke pot, never smoked pot in his life. The reason why, and that's the story, the backstory is the reason why is for 40 years of him being in medicine, that's always been the consistent thread to keep people off the edge for everything, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, and he's like, I believe in it, but I don't know anything about it. He's the most perfect fucking guy. That's the only guy. Can you imagine if he'd have rolled in there like Margaritaville and been like, hey man.
Yeah, he's like, but that's been the problem for people trying to get legalization for a long time. It's like, have you ever seen the kids on campus that come up to you and been like, hey man, you should really legalize it, man? You're like, why should we? That's a good point.
Well,
you can't have that guy.
Yeah. Okay. I remember in the 90s when it first, whenever it first became legal-ish in California, and the dispensaries, and they were busting them, and they had to move them all the time, and the people that were involved in that, the original blueprint, the foundation of all the businessmen, all looked like either bikers, or they were these dudes like that had like flames tattooed around their head, and they were like these crazy looking dudes. A lot of the ones I met. Yeah. Now, fast forward, now you have PhD carrying doctors and scientists.
Well, it's big business,
right? But the point is the original back then. Yeah, it was a sketchy gig. Now, like for Florida to have pulled this off, now that I've met Dr. Dorn and I've had a conversation with him, that's the guy that would have had to have got it done. He couldn't have come in with this agenda.
No.
He doesn't have that agenda.
No.
It's amazing. And then on top of that, his assistant, who's the young lady that's in charge of the MMTC here in the Villages, she's going to be the face, and I'm supposed to be the propaganda machine. Shout out, propaganda machine, medical marijuana.
Leave it to a Cuban to be the propaganda machine.
But okay, so listen to the strategy. So I tell Anzia that this lady who has the radio station, she's young. This little cute looking lady that looks this tall, and she runs this fucking whole company, and it's got Fox Sports in there. So it's like a legit FM station. So listen, we're gonna have her interview here. Then Anzia's gonna interview her, change this to, Anzia does her shows here. So it'll change to Anzia Magazine, and then she'll interview her ass. And then this one's gonna fall in love with Anzia as being a strong, black, independent woman with a brilliant mind, and she's gonna be the one that's gonna she's the one, and then I will be the comedic backdrop. She's the main force, because they just hired Zenith. Shout out Zenith Nevers, his show. It's got a gay ass intro. Whatever. Our shit's gonna be like more edgy. I love you, Zenith. You know I'm not hating. Dude, you've inspired the shit out of me, bro.
Listen, I can't get over the fact that this looks like a fucking prehistoric fleshlight.
You've been dying to tell that shit to the universe.
No, I'm telling you. Look, I'm staring at it this whole time.
Do you want me to change it to something?
It's
else?
Before they they invented the wheel, but they couldn't figure out to make the hole round on the inside.
Well, actually, I think what they're actually highlighting is the big thing is this is the rear wheel of the Flintstone vehicle, and that's the front one. And they had to use a square peg for the axle to go across. That's just me being high.
Except the Flintstone car didn't have a square one.
I don't know. Just so you feel me what I'm saying about that?
Yeah, man.
So then we're gonna shoot the show here because at GOAT they shoot the show for the radio station, but you saw the picture, they film it as a podcast as well. Right. So that you can watch it online or listen to it on the radio station or catch it on the internet on the radio station.
Right.
So my whole angle is I was inspired enough to say, hey, Anzia, can't we do that? Why can't we do that? Even if she doesn't take it, we could either put it online, first of all, and second of all, we can maybe sell it to somebody. Especially since, she's the point of the spear. All I gotta do is talk shit. And she'll do all the editing. I provide the ambiance and the technology.
This motherfucker said, I provide the ambiance.
See? Am I right? That's some...
Scare the shit out of my dad when I do that. He's like...
You know what? Your dad scares the shit out of me, so it's full circle. His dad's sitting in the parking lot. I don't know this motherfucker. Like, all white old men look alike. My dad and me agree. So this dude, I'm leaving out of a comedy night that he assists me on and I host in the Villages, near the Villages, and late at night, and this big dude is all up in the shadows and it's already dark out. He's kind of like in the cut watching the show. And this show's over with. So Jesse and a couple comics are sitting up there. And I'm like, look at this big fucking redneck. And as I'm leaving, I'm burning up his phone trying to get him to answer. And this dude's an asshole when it comes to trying to answer phones. Finally, he's like, what? And I'm like, dude, there's some sketchy looking dude out there in the shadows watching y'all. Just watch your back. Be careful. Come to find out it's his dad waiting to talk to Jesse. Like, this dude can't just walk up and say, hey, Jesse, no, this guy's got to sit up in the shadows. And then he's kind of an introvert. He's kind of a shy dude, apparently. And he's kind of a big dude, too. So it's like, he looks sketchy.
Oh, he's not an introvert. He was just scoping everybody out.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck all that. He's kind of country.
He's an old man. He does things like that. I don't know. He's got no entertainment. Dude, what do when you sit around the house all day and you watch the news? You're paranoid. They're paranoid about everything.
Oh, bro, I found speaking of your parents, my dad's joke about the canaries.
Oh, yeah.
I got it. And I'm working on some shit that's so gangster, but it's a 30 to 45 minute set where there's threads that run through 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say, like, let me give you a 5-minute joke because but like, the one where the Dolly Parton wig?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to start with that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd please, work with me on this. When I point the mic at you, I want you all to say, Dolly Parton wig. Dolly Parton wig. Once again, Dolly Parton wig. Alright, and then I do the bit.
Yeah.
But throughout the rest of the whole set, I'll be in a situation where we'll be like, and did you believe what that bitch had on? See what I'm saying? Like, I can use it throughout the set. I don't know if that's what I'm saying, but you get what I'm saying as far as threading it through the whole set?
Yeah, man.
So I have a few shits where I'll tell you what, that Glory Days, boy, I ate a bowl of dicks on that one, so I'm done with that fucking bit. That's what workout rooms are so important. When you work out in your room and you throw some shit out there and see if it sticks, and they look at you like, what the fuck are you doing?
I elbowed Jim and I was like, if she'd be going, glory hole days, in the bathroom stall, glory hole days.
All I do know is when at the store that we used to work at, when they would play that song on the radio, Glory Days, that's how I even know the song is from work. When that part come on, when I would sing that part, it would murder at the deli.
You know, straight fuck that music.
Yeah, right.
Every time one of those songs that played at work would come on the radio, I'd immediately change the fucking channel. Except for Saturday in the park. I think it was the 4th of July. I like that one. Don't ask me why.
Ron Gaines is a manager that now he's down Claremont Way. He was one of my store managers. You know?
No, you just dropping dudes' names about, you know.
No, I can say names. I'm not saying company. It's not a bad thing.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying.
All right.
Shout out Ron Gaines, local. He's a friend-ish. But the point is, he got upset. He got pissed off this one time. And he left for a 4-day weekend.
Yeah.
And did you know there's a second setting for Muzak?
Oh, there's more than one.
Well,
there's like 18 different channels on that.
One of which is all like top 40 music of the last 30 years.
Yeah.
In guitar only.
Oh, fuck.
And he set that and locked the door and left for 4 days, and because he was pissed at us. So he made the whole store listen to that shit for
great.
4 days.
That's great.
That's a true story. He was the guy I used to make, like, he would be like, so you know, Alex, you know, I was going through your deli today, and I gotta tell you, I don't feel like throwing up as much today as I did yesterday. And you'd be like, thank you? Is that a compliment?
Damn,
like, but that was his, like, that was the way he would
It's pretty gangster, man.
He used to say stupid shit like, does a shark shit in the water?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he's like a dork.
Sharks definitely shit in the water.
It's like...
For sure.
Moron.
They do.
But he was a funny guy. He was all
Dude, I'm
right.
telling you, like, you know why the oceans are so salty, don't you? It's all that fucking jizz. Dude, a whale comes 11 gallons. You think the whales are out there, they're just, all this sea shit's just fucking, like, you're literally, when you're in the ocean, you're swimming in sea life's jizz. Just think about it. You're just floating out there. Gets in your nose, it burns.
I would.
That's sea herpes.
I opened my eyes under salt water. Well, how long has it been since I've been in salt water? I maybe gone ankle to knee deep. No, in the last relationship that I fucked up, there was definitely some knee deep salt water on the West Coast. But swimming in the ocean, not so much. I don't know.
I like swimming in the ocean.
I used to do it all the time. I was a fucking minnow, man. But now, not so much.
No, I get the fuck out there. If there's a shark out there and that's how I'm going out, well, then that's how I'm going out. But that's part of the thrill about swimming in the ocean. You don't know what the hell's underneath you.
You like East Coast or West Coast saltwater?
West Coast.
Well, those sharks are barely sharks.
Yeah, I know. They're little mud sharks.
I mean, first of all, and it wasn't even about the sharks.
Still fuck you up, though.
It's the sharks on the East Coast when you look at the aerial pictures and shit. But I just think, I kind of feel like unless you're really into saltwater swimming and you like live near the water and maybe surf or whatever, I feel like you outgrow the saltwater swimming. Like, when was the last time you were like, hey, let's go? I mean, you just went to the beach with your girl, right?
Yeah, but I'm not necessarily like, you know.
I don't know the last time I ever thought to myself voluntarily, hey, let's go to Daytona Beach.
I wouldn't go to the beach probably ever unless I was in a relationship. Like, I gotta be honest. Like, there's not any time I go, I want to go to the beach. I know I live in Florida, fucking hate beach towns because there's nothing but a bunch of fucking scummy people walking around and vagrants and shit out the ass, and everybody's got their fucking hand out.
You ain't lying. There's some bullshit on the coast.
And the buildings are always faded, and like there's always that one faded pink building, and they kind of sell stuff they're not supposed to, and you know.
No, you're right. You know what I like?
Like you could still get K2 at a gas station on a beach shore.
You're right.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, you're right. What I like is, like I like Cedar Key, but I would not fucking swim in Cedar Key because I don't. That water just looks like coffee floating in the water. Like it's just gross looking. But Cedar Key, because of the driftwood buildings and the ambiance, like I like the fact that there's no neon lights, and I love going in and getting those intimate bars with the bands that play. Dude, you know,
you want to go someplace where there's no fucking lights, and I did this in 1998. When was that? That was when the Hail Bob comic came through. Or was that 96? It was 98 or 96. The Hail Bob.
I don't give a fuck. What is
where the fucking Heaven's Gate people all killed themselves.
Yeah, what about it? Like, I give a shit what year it is. Tell me where you went.
All right, anyway, so fucking 98. It's a spring break. It was me, my dad, my dentist, and his son, and we're on our way to this place called St. George Island. It's off the Panhandle. And you drive out there, and it was really fucking cool. All these UCF, people were out there partying, dude, and I was like, I was 15 or whatever. It was a very good time. But at night, all the lights in the place shut out. Like, no street lights, there's no nothing. So, like, literally, you're looking up into the sky from this beach at night, dude, and you can see the whole fucking galaxies and shit. Like, you can see all of that shit, like, that whole band. And then that Hail Bob comet was, like, fucking like that big in the sky and all these crazy colors. It was a really cool time to be there. But the thing about it is, there's no light. There's no nothing. You don't get any of that pollution. So you can see fucking everything. You can visibly see hundreds of thousands of stars. I mean, it's nuts. And it was really cool. So that place for sure is a little hidden gem nobody fucking knows about.
But are there buildings there?
Yeah. There's hotels and everything. Yeah. But they shut all the fucking shit down.
Yeah, I like that. Have you ever heard of, you might have heard it with me, and I'll show you pictures after. I was going to show you on the phone, but there's a town south of Tampa called Matlacha.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
No.
Or have you heard of it?
No.
So it it looks like it's a bunch of trailer houses and little driftwood building looking houses, and the whole town, they painted it like a Margaritaville, but real. They have like octopuses and neon green painted on the front of the buildings, but all the trailers and all the little houses and everybody that lives out there did it. So this whole fucking community is like this hippie ass, there's some. Are you familiar? Have you been to Treasure Island?
Yeah.
Okay, so at Treasure Island, we went to a wedding there, right?
Yeah.
And I met this. They have these little cottages that are like, here's the water, here's like a road, because they don't have at this particular spot. There wasn't on the water. There was a water and then a road, and then here's a bunch of these little cottages, right? So we're over in this thing of cottages for this wedding, getting ready and shit. And I strike up a conversation with this dude sitting at the next cottage out front, all right? Now, you know how in the villages when people get too much sun, they're like it's not even like tan, it's more like a leathery brown.
Oh, dude, you're talking about like people that look like George Hamilton and shit?
Thank you. So this this older man.
Like a suitcase?
But he wasn't like villages old. He wasn't 60s. I would say he's probably early 50s. Now, I'm having a conversation with a dude. He explains to me. Him and his wife came out here like 2 years ago. Yeah. They live in Tampa.
Yeah.
He was at that weird, crazy crossroads in his life where he's like, I don't want to live anymore. I hate my job. I hate my life kind of thing. They decided to rent their fucking house in Tampa. And the rent that they get from Tampa, they struck a deal with the person who owns that cottages, and they got a monthly package deal with no clothes on it. They've been living in this cottage that's like the size of my back shed thing that I'm getting ready to turn into a new podcast room.
Yeah.
The little tiny place. And him and his wife have been living there now for a couple of years. She and he both still work in Tampa. They drive there every morning, but when they're done, they come out. And this Treasure Island place, that's like a hippie fairy. Like they have those giant globes that like the garden nymphs with the weird,
Sure.
I believe there's mad weed being smoked out there all the time. Not saying that it's not happening everywhere, but I mean, like,
That's
Treasure
a lot
Island.
of mushrooms going on.
Right, Treasure Island looks like. Let me tell you something. There's this romantic corner, and when I mean romantic, it's from my perspective as a businessman. There's this one big cottage on one piece of property, right? And on the very corner, they built this where you lean open the windows on all four sides, and there's like a little, like you can have anything, a t-shirt shop, a little grill, sell sandwiches, but it literally is like the corner of this, and then the little house matches the big house.
Okay.
And the deal is, Treasure Island, that road, during spring break and all the big festivals, that place is like Mardi Gras all the time, and packed. Thousands of young people are there. So whoever bought or rented that setup could walk out at their leisure, open up the four sides, during lunch hours and maybe after work if the people come out Friday, Saturday nights, and right there on the fucking right, just walk and sell it right on the. I mean, it's like this romantic fantasy of like this. Cedar Key has something like that. One time I was high, fucked up on ecstasy back when the good ecstasy was around, 10, 12 years ago. And I go and start negotiating to buy a motel in
more
Cedar
10 or
Key.
12 years ago now.
Right. But I negotiated to buy a motel. I was fucked up.
Yeah.
And what it was the Cedar Inn Motel at Cedar Key, which is not on the water. It's on the inside. Okay, which is the fucking Cedar Key's that big, so there's not much inside.
No, there's nothing.
But there's a strip of there's actually if you ever, because I actually hung out there for days, fucked up, looking at it, just loving the place, because I was at a crossroads where I wanted to make $1 million, sell everything, and then just disappear and move into one of these Cedar Key hippie spots. Cedar Key, because I didn't want to swim.
Right.
I just wanted to live out there in that weird little subculture out there. The Cedar Inn Motel, where that place is, the road goes around, and then the boat ramp is right there, and that's where those driftwood buildings that are famous. But on this little side of this little tiny island, this strip actually resembles like where if it was all built to nice, you could be up there on the patio throwing beads down like a little Mardi Gras stretch. It actually has the second floors, all the businesses are there, everything, the bones are there. But I don't think they do, except when they have seafood festivals and stuff. I think they do more on that strip too. But the Cedar Inn is on that side, and I wanted to set it up. I had all these crazy ideas all in one night, and I'm over here talking to this guy. He's Russian, who owns it, and we're just bullshit. And he knows I'm fucked up, and I'm looking at him. I go, "You thought this was the dream, right? You're not so happy. Oh, he's a living. I don't know, man. I think I wish you could walk out of it. I think I could probably help you with that. Oh, really? What do you think?" And by the time we were done, he wouldn't go under $1 million, and I couldn't go over 750,000, of which I had no money. But it was all just, role playing at the moment. It was a fun conversation with this overbearing, big, husky Russian dude trying to buy a motel in Cedar Key. At the time, I had my graphics.
We were dealing with a fucking Russian mobster and
Probably.
didn't even know. He's like, I can't do anything less than that. Otherwise, I have to call somebody.
Right,
You don't want me calling who I have to call.
I had this vision because I had my big graphic shop at the time, and I was doing this thing where I was getting ready to create this big old branch of the business, and I was calling them wall wraps. So, like, if you have, let's say you live in your house, and let's say you're in the Villages and you live in London. You came from London. You're a Brit, right? So, in your living room wall, I could go in there and I had this picture. It was this brown, what is it that called that,
It's basically
espresso?
like they do with cars you were going to do on walls.
But like a beautiful photo quality.
Yeah.
At the time, high-res images were just new.
Right.
So we could, and I actually, but anyways, do the whole thing, trim it around with a baseboard all the way around, custom match the color of the baseboard. It was $8 a square foot. A wall about that big would be like $2,000. And at the time,
So theoretically, if I wanted the Battle of Endor on fucking 3 walls, or just an accent wall of just the Battle of Endor, I could fuck. Shit, dude, you should do that. That's cool as fuck.
Listen, I had.
That's what I want.
I had my plan was, because they have shitloads of them to choose from, picture or roller coaster in mid motion. Everybody's and picture as if somebody was centered in the front of that thing, turned around and took a picture. Okay, so you're like, now picture a couch right here, 2-seater, because back when this was a living room, here you have a 2-seater couch. Stoner, are you listening?
No, bro, listening to the...
Right, exactly what I said. This is what brings ratings. Just being real. Put the couch to where the center of the roller coaster comes out of the back of the couch. So while you're sitting on the couch and somebody walks in and looks at you, it looks like you're at the front of a roller coaster and everybody behind you is photo quality, actual size. How gangster would that be on the wall of a fucking living room?
I mean, it'd be cool. And
it's zany.
Right. I mean, it would definitely make it into somebody's fucking Christmas card. You know it.
I mean, can you imagine?
Here we are.
Having a cool ass. And then the other thing I wanted to do was have do like an X-Men room.
Fucking cool shit.
But where
oh, dude, you can
from behind the bed,
the danger room.
From behind the bed, you have Wolverine coming out, but all veiny. McFarlane Wolverine.
You gotta have your Wolverine veiny. That's for fucking sure.
You know McFarlane's work versus.
Of course, I know McFarlane.
So that's the point. Like get graphic on that bitch.
But McFarlane didn't really do he didn't really do Wolverine like he did like he may have guest drawn him.
Keep in mind,
but he did Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't fuck with Spider-Man.
McFarlane made Spider-Man the Spider-Man we know today with the exaggerated poses and everything like that. Then
McFarlane was the name that popped in my head when I haven't thought about this shit in
Jim Lee, on the other hand, and
I'll be real with you, the Image artist back in the 90s when Image comic books came
Jeffrey
out.
Scott Campbell,
those guys
Jim Lee,
is what I'm talking about.
Humberto Ramos.
But check this out.
Joe Madeira.
You have a room.
My boys.
You have a badass room. Let's say you have a wall with all the Wolverine. With all the X-Men on it, right?
Yeah.
Then you put those floating shelves, and you put a boxed-in one of each character and a card, and have a beautifully one of those professionally framed, but not. I understand the crystal framing, but then you take that crystal framing and put it on to where it looks like a certified award. You can make them yourself, and you can have them made here locally even, and then you put them on the walls. Do that stuff. I tell you another thing is gangster as shit, because you get my man here is retiring, so he's gonna try to do what I did, which is to go debt free off the radar, so he can pursue his dream to become the next Louis C.K. and get caught with some scandal.
And while I disagree with a lot of the politics and the policies that happened at the company I'm retiring from, it still has given me the opportunity to do what I'm about to do.
No doubt. No doubt.
And if you're willing to put that kind of time in, and I mean, it's really weird because you wake up one day and it's like, wow, it's 15 years. Holy shit, I've been here 15 years. What the hell happened?
No doubt.
And you gotta make decisions. Like, I'm 35. If I don't chase this now, if I don't do this now, I'm not gonna. And I'm gonna be that guy that's old as dirt, that's got regrets. You don't never want to be that guy. You don't ever want to be the guy that's old and has regrets. You want to be the guy that, if I try and I fail, I tried. That's the point. Is like, if you don't want to be the person at the end of your life that's like, well, I never went to Africa like I wanted to, or I never went to do this, or I never pursued that.
I wouldn't recommend Africa.
Hey, there's some cool ass fucking spots in Africa, man.
I still wouldn't recommend it.
Why? I mean, you gotta get a lot of shots first, but
I believe until you wear it out, I believe the West Indies and Jamaica and the Bahamas is a great place to vacation, very inexpensively, and in relatively the same conditions that you have here, and not so concerned about some crazy vendetta bullshit and this crazy shit that's happening in these different worlds. And also, I don't even recommend leaving America anymore. Right now, I don't. I ain't bullshit. The one dude I always pick on, who was on the show, Ramdesh, he went to India. I'm like, dude, that's the worst fucking place in the world to go. Anybody who wants to go,
he's got a great disguise though, because he's fucking Indian.
Yeah, right. He looks like it.
There you go.
You know that goddamn Fez that they never knew where he was from.
Right. But that's the thing though. He's not really Indian, but no one's ever gonna tell. He's brown. He's an Indian. Nobody's asking questions. That's all I'm saying. If I show up to India, I am twice as likely to get kidnapped. The joke's on you fuckers. Nobody's paying shit for me.
Right. Well, back in the day when you used to have a DVD player.
Yeah.
So when I had the kids in the back, one of the kids' rooms had bunk beds.
Yeah.
So I cut a hole in the wall and flush mounted the DVD player into the way up high into the wall like a head unit on a car stereo, so that when the boy was up on the top bunk, we had jacks for the video games hooked into the wall, piped all the way through to the TV and the DVD player, so that he could be up there and play the shit here, and it would turn on the TV over there. You can do cool shit like that when you have your place. That's what I was gonna say. One of the reasons I like.
Well, and that's the thing is, it's
you can make a secret room.
It's so interesting because I woke up this morning at 5 o'clock. I woke up this morning at 5 a.m.
Go ahead.
Thought I had to be to work. I was late again, and then I realized my ass were tired.
And my ass hurts. What?
No. So I rolled back over and closed my eyes. I ain't going to work, baby. Cause I left that bitch, I'm gone.
That's right, baby.
I'll say it again.
One of my bits that I do, and I don't mind putting my shit out to the universe. If somebody steals it, it's on. But when you're going through Facebook, well, you don't have any kids, but when I go through Facebook, and occasionally I will see a little girl as a baby, and it will remind me, oh my God, that looks a lot like my daughter did when she was a baby.
You want to know what's crazy is
Hold on, let me finish. And then for a brief second, yeah, this is a joke. That was it. No. And then for a brief second, I think, I get a flash of memories, and it's like a warm, fuzzy feeling. I'm like, man, I sure do miss those good old times and those girls and growing up. And it was, because I raised them from scratch like biscuits. I had full custody of them. And then I get a moment where I'm like, I really miss them. Maybe, once upon a time I should have taken more time to appreciate them, And then I look again, and I look at my clock on the dashboard of the car, and it says 10:30 a.m. and I'm in front of the gym, and I just woke up. And I go, wait a minute, I'm fucking retired. Fuck those little girls. They don't know what your lives, because they're in college now, you know what I'm saying? So It's like, fuck it. My ex-wife used to, when they would have Christmas there,
yeah,
they would make, all the way up until right now, they would stand them by the tree, open up the present, take a picture with each present, because she lost custody and had that large gap of that she overcompensates and wants to keep them young. Where we would the last bonus, back when we got bonuses, which is right before Thanksgiving or right after Thanksgiving, that's Christmas every year.
Right.
While I got the money, kids, let's go shopping.
Right.
Let's get the shit. And my ex-wife to this day still wants to keep my kids young. Since the time my kids were mine, I've been wanting to get them ready to get grown and get on with their lives. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So now, check this out. I took my daughter came into town. She comes into town to get a tattoo. And I'm like, all right, well, first of all, some of the best tattoo artists I've ever seen are in Jacksonville, which is a shitload closer to St. Aug. Driving to Ocala to get a tattoo.
It's kind of ridiculous.
But then again, I don't know. Maybe there's some badass tattoo artists in Ocala.
There's a good studio. I don't know if it's still amazing. On the square.
That's where she went.
and fat cats or something
That's
like
where
that.
she went.
Yeah.
That's where she goes. The way she talks, it's so funny. Well, Dad, I only go there.
Well,
I'm like,
that's the hipster's tattoo shop.
cool. So we go to eat dinner.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be going, shout out Jackie Knight, I'm going to be going to perform there on a Friday night, some point this month.
Good, because you hit there.
Yeah, right? You eat a bowl of dicks.
Fucking, dude, that's just fucking tossing dicks in the air and catching them like this. Fucking shit was horrible.
So I'm going to go up there on a Friday night. So there's a pause. We're talking about it at dinner. And there's a pause. She goes, Dad, can I ask you a favor? Sure, what's up?
Can I get some
She goes, after you get done performing, would you mind going with me somewhere specific? I want to show you this place that I hang out. She goes, and I want you to smoke pot with me. I go, really? She goes, yeah. Apparently her roommate and her have this place where they smoke pot. And her father came and the three of them smoked pot for the first time together he ever smoked pot with his dog. So she's like, we want to do it with you so that way it's like a connection. You know, she's the deep one, the weird one, like her daddy. But you've met her, the one with pink hair.
Yeah.
So now we're going to, so I told her, no problem. I said, do I need to bring the pot or do y'all supply it? She goes, no, we'll supply it. She goes, and Dad, and this is the part I love, serious on her face, I'm gonna take you on an adventure. And I'm like, word? I'm like, you gonna take me on an adventure? Tell me this ain't going into some new material, motherfucker, because this is some prime shit.
Well, that's it right there. I had one this morning at Dunkin' Donuts. I order my coffee. I hand him my card. As I'm handing him my card, he hands me my coffee. So now I have, now I have the coffee in my hands. He has my card. If the card's declined, they hand you back the card. You still have the coffee. What's to stop you from just driving away? Like, that's a screwed up procedure. Like, I don't think that guy at entry level should be making those kind of decisions.
That's funny.
Right? Because I have it now. I'm like, oh, do you have another form of payment? Sure, I do. Gas, wheel, bye-bye. You know,
Go fuck yourself.
Done. This latte is free. Gratis. He ain't getting your license plate. That kid's stunned you're even moving. And at minimum wage, does he really give a fuck? Bon voyage.
You're right about that.
Fucking.
Have you ever had a gelato?
Fuck yeah.
Boy, that was a weird gem that I missed most of my life. I only recently discovered gelato.
Fuck, man. Thanks for hooking me up with almond milk, because that shit is.
Oh, that's right. So there we go.
Boom.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
All right, here comes the big endorsement for almond milk. You want a cup of coffee, by the way?
Oh, sure. Almond milk is the shit. Okay? I was trying to get off regular milk because of all the sugar. And I get this unsweetened almond milk. The thickness, the creaminess, everything's basically the same. Had it with some fucking chocolate chip cookies. I know I said the sugar thing. But if I'm not drinking sugar with this, that means I can have a chocolate chip cookie. Or 7. Yeah, you know what, man? Fuck Oreos.
Fuck Oreos.
You look at a package of Oreos and it's like 3 Oreos are a serving size. Who the fuck eats 3 Oreos? I eat Oreos until I run out of milk.
Who the fuck eats Oreos?
You buy a bag of combos, it says 4 servings. Like, ooh yeah, who the fuck eats like 4 combos? And it's just like, I'm done with that bag. No, you eat the whole bag. It should say, it's because it's 900 calories for a bag. So it should say, fucking combos, cheesy pretzel, 1 serving, 900 calories. Because who the fuck's not eating a whole bag of combos? You know you are.
Have you seen all the cool recipes on Facebook with Oreos now?
Dude, no.
Doing some gangster shit.
But I'm sure there's a ton of shit for Oreos.
Do you know what the white stuff in the middle is?
Fucking, I don't know.
Sweet and lard.
Magic goodness. Of course it's sweet and lard.
But that's literally what it is.
Of course it is. Why? What else would it be?
For some reason, lard wasn't what I thought it would be.
Dude, they whip it. They whip it.
Whip it real good.
Yeah, they whip it real good into shape. They shape it up. It's not too late to whip it. Oreos are good. Dun 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 dun. Oreos. The fucking Oreos are good, man. Big old glass of milk. Fuck. I really want Oreos. Those fucking Girl Scouts tried to get me again today when I was at Walmart.
I wish that they would come up with a healthier version of a dessert. Like,
oh, dude, there's these ice creams at the grocery store. They're called Halos, right? They're a pint of ice cream, or at least they tell you that they are, okay? Now, the whole pint is only 320 calories. Well, that's fucking ridiculous, right? You pick it up and you realize that it's just like the whipped cream cheese and the whipped butter. It's just got a bunch of fucking air in it. So you're not even getting a pint. And you're paying $5.89 for it because it's so...
It's like Flavor Cool Whip.
Right, because it's revolutionary. Meanwhile, you're getting fucked out of ice cream. Who cares if it's only 320 calories? So it's a mind fuck. All these fat soccer moms are just going there going, this is amazing. I'm so glad they did this. I can't believe it. It's only 320 calories. Get it in a stylish mug and everything. Is this gonna like burn me to death when I drink it?
Okay. Creamer made it lukewarm. So,
like a fucking lightsaber handle. Anyway.
Really? That's a mighty fat fucking lightsaber.
No, it's got the grips on it and everything. Look, it looks like it came from the Star Wars universe. It'd be like.
Okay, so this is the debate / borderline argument, and I know you're going to be on the same side as David on this, but big controversial shit here.
Okay.
I recently watched Aliens, which is Alien Part 2.
Yeah, I know.
If you took the reality of that movie, and put that reality into Star Wars, I think I would be more interested. The reality, like where you see it, it's gritty, it's more real. And again, Tom Segura fucked me, man. Fucked me.
Have you seen Valerian?
What is a Valerian?
You should watch Valerian, man.
Is it a Star Wars?
No. It's a sci-fi.
No. I'm talking about Star Wars specific.
I'm saying, like, watch Valerian. That's a great one.
Is it on Netflix or YouTube?
I don't know if it's on YouTube. I'm sure it's on there. Like, you have to pay for it to rent it or whatever. But it's on. Yeah, it's everywhere. It's out on video now. But it's not on Netflix or anything yet. But it's awesome, and so is that show on Netflix, Altered Carbon.
I've seen
that's
that.
some really good sci-fi as well.
But as I was saying, Tom Segura on his show was making this point that I'd never actually really thought about, which was, how come nobody takes a shit? How come there's not, if there's 40 people up in space, why aren't they fucking? If Chewbacca is this 10-foot fucking grizzly bear in a tight quarter, dirty ship Millennium Falcon, how come you don't hear about him?
Millennium Falcon.
How come you don't hear about grizzly bear sized shits? Hey, goddamn dog, man, you stinking it up over there.
Because it was a classy production.
Bullshit. I just feel like that's the only ingredient that's missing.
Well, you think it's gonna get that way now that Disney owns it? No.
But I also know that, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't given the new shit a try, and I'm getting ready to. I gave up after the 6th.
Oh, the prequels?
Yeah, I gave up after all that shit. So, it is odd to me that there were no women and no black people or people of color in the old movies, but I get it, whatever.
Well, they filmed it in England, a lot of it, and it just everybody there in that industry at the time was basically white. Like, there was just white people fucking everywhere.
Still like that. I want to say shout out.
Listen,
I watched this thing on Facebook about how black Black Panther is.
Oh, yeah.
And listen. Let me tell you something. I did not know.
I still haven't seen the movie yet, so don't.
I haven't seen shit. I won't see it until it comes out on video. But which they don't even call them videos anymore. But they were talking about how they were using natural hairstyles, which was never seen in the movies before. And you take this shit for granted. Black people, we take this shit for granted. It's amazing to me that you guys aren't highlighted and there aren't more movies with more black people in it. Listen, my boy Sergio, our friend Sergio, who's in school to be a filmmaker, is explaining to me that there are white people, black people, Latin people, Indian people, all these motherfuckers are in the school learning how to make movies, and all of them are casting almost all white actors. And when did actors and actresses stop being actors and actresses? Why are they all actors now?
Well, I think
waitresses.
Because of the feminism movement and stuff.
Wait, there's no waitresses. It's waiters or wait staff.
Well, it's wait staff. I mean, you can still call your waitress a waitress. Nobody's gonna get pissed off at you for calling her a waitress. And if she does, well, fuck her. Who cares? You're a waitress.
I'm a big fan of waitresses.
Listen,
I'm fucking pissed on waitresses.
No, I'm just saying. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like,
I don't want
like, if you get mad that I call you a waitress, Oh well.
Word.
Right? I mean, but why? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Why would you get pissed? Oh, I'm a wait person.
I met a gentleman Friday night. I went to a comedy show in Ocala.
Yeah.
There's a place called Symmetry Coffee.
Yeah.
Shout out Symmetry Coffee. Shout out Chris Wims. Shout out Kelly Fuqua. She's head of Parks and Rec for Marion County. And I'm going to try to coax them onto the show because I want to... Are you a Parks and Rec fan?
The show? Fuck yeah, it's a great show.
See, I want to try to find a real interview from that pop culture explosion to actually sit down with... Because Kelly Fuqua... No, I want to talk to the Parks and Rec of our town because of the exploding popularity of that show. That's all. But it turns out, ironically...
Can you grow a mustache like Ron Swanson?
I don't even know what that means.
Parks and Rec.
I've never seen an episode 1. I know it's on Netflix, but it's kind of hipster for me. I don't know.
Dude, it's fucking great, man.
My daughter gave me a list of shows to watch.
It's like watching It's like watching past Star-Lord, before he became Star-Lord.
I don't know what that means.
Fucking Guardians of the Galaxy. Come on, man.
Oh, the guy from Jurassic Park is on...
That's Chris Pratt, man.
Okay. He's in... Is he the one with the big mustache?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't even know visually what the show looks like. Okay, I've never even seen a screenshot of it.
Dude, watch the have you watched Community?
Listen, time out. 1 second. My daughter gave me a list of shows that she suggested. She goes, these are the greatest shows ever. Now, Parks and Rec was on the list, but it wasn't in the top 3. One was the one with the chick with the dark hair that has like a pouty, moody, like she's almost goth kind of, and it was her living with a bunch of dudes in a house.
Fucking what?
It's super popular.
Wait, on Sci-Fi?
No. On Netflix, she gave me a list of shows, one of which was Parks and Rec, but it was like 4th on the list. One of the 3 that I actually tried was the show where this chick was living with, was it one of the guys?
New Girl?
New Girl.
She's not gothic.
She's very goth-esque. Like there's gothic. She's got that. She reminds me of the younger sister from Roseanne that was always real moody and like her anyway, so that New Girl. I started watching New Girl, and I immediately was like, nah, I don't get it. It's not my cup of tea. I don't get Big Bang. I don't get. And I've seen it at the laundromat. That's how we roll sometimes when shit breaks down. So we go to the laundromat.
That's how I roll because I don't have shit to break down. So I gotta go.
I know what you mean.
I gotta go to the laundromat, man. That's where I go.
You don't wash your clothes at your parents' house?
No.
So, anyways, I want to interview the lady, and the interesting thing about it is she, has big tattoos. She seems like a fun person that would be interesting to interview because I'm in search of more women like Sarah Geimer. Meaning, I want to introduce my female demographic and perhaps maybe their daughters, if they're willing to connect the dots, to the idea. Like Sarah was really on point when she was like, I don't want girls to sit around thinking that the only option they have is to look pretty next to a car or look pretty next to a man or look pretty next to to be a television or a model or anything. She there's so much, I want women to do chemistry and to be a scientist, and her man crush, the men that she finds really attractive, is Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Fuck, Neil deGrasse Tyson's the man, dude. Fucking him, Brian Greene, Michio Kaku, fucking.
Okay, that didn't even sound right. That's just kidding. I'm sure that's not the first time you've heard that shit, Michio Kaku on Kaki. So, but what I'm saying is Anzia, Sarah, my sister, the lady who owns this radio station, all attractive women. See what I'm saying?
Right.
But they are as smoking hot as they are, being that hot is fourth on their list of weapons. You know what I'm saying?
She's got a great message with trying to get women to go into those fields because there is a lack of female involvement in STEM programs, which is the science and technology and medical field, all those things. There's not a lot of women in them. In the STEM
well, more importantly than that, there's not a lot in them, and I just feel like these women need to be inspired. These girls need to be inspired.
They need to have positive role models that aren't stick figure women on the cover of magazines.
Exactly.
And the fucked up part about those magazines for women, where it shows you these unrealistic body types and tells you this is what you should look like, is that those fucking magazines are owned by women, most of them. Well, that's what I don't fucking understand.
And the other thing about it too is I believe more and more men are finding the women who are curvier, whether it be by way of CrossFit or training or just a little bit of extra cushion in the corners. I think the archetype of drawn up, about to die from dehydration. I think that look except in magazines and on the runway, I think they're on their way.
Well, there's a lot more body acceptance in this country right now, but it's also the fact that we're a little larger as a country, I think, because we're all a little bit bigger. Let's face it, as a country, we're a little bit fat, and come on, you start to look at things differently when you're like that, because there's more bigger people. You start to adjust, but even in medieval times, women that had larger hips and stuff like that were sought after because they could have kids. So curvy's always been the thing, man. It kind of lost its way in the 90s and the 80s. We're all the cocaine chic of the 80s, and everybody was flash dancing. And
I'm a big fan of Bondo dents, spot repairs, fresh coat of paint on an old chassis.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with a thick girl, man. Thick girls are great. I don't want a chick that's perfect. I want some flaws. I want a little mileage.
Well, I think I think there's art in the imperfections. But that's just because, and you know what though? I mean, you know, it's all in what you want and all what you like. I know what I like, and I don't like your contemporary, traditional what people. And in fact, chicks that are really hot, I questioned why they fucking with me. One time, that one chick, crazy bitch that was 5'11", remember?
Yeah.
Gorgeous, smoking hot body, bounce a quarter off any part of her body. She starts fucking with me, and I'm looking at her with skeptical hippo face. I'm like, why are you fucking with me? Not that I'm not confident, but I'm 5'7" on a good day.
Right.
So it's why is this 5'11" smoking hot blonde fucking with me? Like on her own, coming, like being aggressive towards me. Well, coming to find out, when we went to lunch, I go to park, she goes, park over there. Why? Because I asked you to, park over there. I'm walking on the way to the restaurant, and walk on this side of me. Why? Because I asked you to. You want a charming and good-looking dude, but one that will lick your boots and do what you want. And then the sex was horrible.
Well, because they don't have to try hard. That's the thing.
But that's just it, though.
I'm hot. You should be lucky you were able to fucking fuck me at all.
So that's
here you go.
That's why
I'm throwing you a bone.
Despite the fact that I'm G'd up and I look nice and all that, and I'm very confident. Despite all that, I still question why you fucking with me. Because the other part that's not fair to both parties is I will pick my fucking teeth with you. It's not a good move. Don't do it because you want to fuck around and do something out of your norm, because I will break your spirit.
Dude, I would rather fucking eat your 5 than a fucking 9 or 10 without the proper motivation.
Fuck around and not pay attention. I will climb on the top ring rope.
You find
drop the elbow.
Like, you find a chick that's been disappointed by a couple of dudes that got a couple of kids, probably different dads. That girl's gonna fuck you right. You know what I mean?
He's right.
Single moms, they're a treasure.
And I love it when you know, these guys with their taste in women, man. These girls are so pretentious and entitled and enabled, and they look at you. You know, Bill Burr was like, you know, you ever seen a girl, you can't hit a girl, you ever seen them try to stop, they fall like face first. That's such a great bit.
Dude, they just have unrealistic expectations. Like when I do that joke about them on Match.com, when they all want their man to make $150,000, $200,000, and you look at their job, and their job's like, oh, you know, I'm a server at freaking Waffle House or whatever, and you're like, well, lower your expectations, sweetie. You're freaking aiming real high. I'm looking at you.
You know who? I want to say if it's Jelly Roll. I think it was Jelly Roll. You know who Jelly Roll is? That fat white rapper, who, by the way, has lost like 80 pounds. Keep it up, Jelly. So, anyways, Jelly Roll is such a fan of Waffle House and he's got such a big following that he approached Waffle House and got sponsored by their
That's fucking awesome. I love Waffle House, dude. I'm telling you, it's not just when you're drunk.
He's repping the fuck out of Waffle House.
Yeah.
But you see, that's like, to me,
probably got something like, how you like your hash browns? Scattered and smothered.
I like a double everything.
Covered in chunk.
I like a double everything hash brown.
Yo.
But you know, one of the podcasts that I wanted to do, but they have weird policies. That's the thing that I'm disappointed with Waffle House. They won't let you set up a camera inside the store.
Yeah, but you can do an audio cast.
Yeah, no, but I don't want to do an audio cast. My game plan is to put a small camera, not a big, ridiculous, but a small camera pointed on us, and the food just being put there, and us talking like.
I see why they don't want to, because all of a sudden, if like one of their cooks, you know, ain't having a good day, and the fucking ham hits the ground, he picks it up and throws it back on the griddle, and your camera catches that goes on YouTube, and someone's like, hey, look at that shit, and they're like, Waffle House.
See, the thing about it was only going to point at us. It was only going to point at us.
But
they just don't want any camera at all.
Yeah, they don't want to deal with that shit.
Let me tell you something, man. So now
you could put a GoPro, like one of those hidden camera things, like in a button.
Oh, of course. But I don't want that. I want to actually have it where it's set up so that all we're doing is talking to each other, having a meal, but we're recording it. But you could do it with a phone.
That's still a camera.
I'm saying it won't bring that big of an attention because we're not. All we have to do is set it on the axle and let it go. We're not even looking at the camera. It was just part of like podcast was going to be like twice a month where we had a meeting at Waffle House. It was just a fellowship, and it would be like, and the other one was Denny's, because stop looking at it like it's an inconvenience. Take your cross, bear your cross, young man. But anyways, you go to, remember when we would go on Thursday nights, Sarah, you and me and whatever, we would go out there to Denny's?
Yeah.
But at least twice a month. Excuse me.
Twice a month what?
To do that with the comics after Thursday night.
Oh yeah, you would do that. I didn't usually go.
Huh?
So I didn't usually go.
But we've gone a half dozen times, but you wouldn't have to be a regular attendee. You would be one of the guests. See what I'm saying? And it would basically just be like, this week's guest, and I would talk to the phone for a few seconds to introduce you, and then we would go right into it.
What we doing? Waffle House. Waffle House is good, man. It's not, it's great when you're drunk. It's good when you're not.
But now, you know what we could do? There's a new fish outside.
I'm glad you said there's a new fish, motherfucker, because that's exactly what I figured out who you are. You look. It looks like I'm hanging out with one of the dudes from Deadliest Catch. Got the fucking. You got the blue shirt on.
That's excellent. Well done.
Look like a deckhand.
When I said I haven't had TV in 20 years, I'm a huge Mike Rowe fan.
Fuck yeah, Mike Rowe,
dude, I almost had him come out and work with me one time on Dirtiest Jobs. I was gonna set it all up and send him a reel.
Dude, I will listen to that guy narrate anything.
He's
right?
The best.
Like his narration's like I put him right up there with Morgan Freeman, just on, slightly different.
No, I like Mike Rowe's cadence much better than Morgan Freeman. I know Morgan Freeman's voice is the shit. I get it, but Mike Rowe, that depth, that bass in his voice.
Well, who do you want to do your eulogy though? You want Mike Rowe?
Mike Rowe, all day. Mike Rowe.
Or Morgan Freeman?
Mike Rowe.
Bryan Cranston would be pretty cool too.
I like. Now, as far as unique voices go,
Jack Nicholson would be great.
Well, actually, who's the dude?
You talking about the young guy that kind of
he's old.
The young Jack Nicholson?
No, he's old.
Christian Slater.
Kind of like that. No, he would. Okay.
I'm
Bachelor. Wedding Crashers. Wedding Crashers.
Oh, Vince Vaughn?
No.
Owen Wilson?
No. The old man who was the senator who was the father that they crashed.
Christopher Walken?
That guy has a cool, unique, odd voice.
Oh, yeah.
The way it does that is very interesting to me.
I held this uncomfortable hunk of metal up my ass.
That's a great.
For 5 years.
That's a great movie and a great.
I like when he did the Continental. You ever watched that on Saturday Night Live? He's like, no, please stay. Have some champagne. He keeps he takes these girls' mail and shit like that live in his building, and they're like, he's like, it seems your mail has come again. I don't know how it gets in my slot. He's like, please come.
He's got such a great
have
voice.
some champagne, and he tries to like put the moves on him, and they'll try to leave, and he goes, no, please stay.
I was talking to a young girl. When I say young girl, I'd say early 20s.
Oh, that's young.
And I was talking to her about Grease. Okay, John Travolta Grease, not Grease 2, not the gay Grease, no offense.
There's a Grease 2?
Motorcycles instead of cars.
Wow.
Michelle Pfeiffer instead of Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah.
But this goofy Englishman instead of John Travolta. Come on, motherfucker. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, John Travolta can't do it again. He flew off into the sky and shit.
But a British guy who was a nerd who became a biker in the movie. And fucking Pink Lady chick was still there. How the fuck is she still there?
She failed. She got left behind.
That many times? It was like 10 years later. So anyways. So I was explaining that, in my opinion, Grease was the greatest musical because it allowed straight men to enjoy a musical for real. I mean, I know my dad loved Grease. I'm talking about it was legit.
Well, but what about West Side Story though?
It doesn't translate.
I mean, granted,
Grease
they're
was
like knife fighting and dancing.
Grease was like the first time it was super cool. Like John Travolta was untouchable back then. He was the best at everything. Okay, so the point is I'm making this point, and she goes, "That doesn't count because there's a rape scene or there's a thing about rape in that movie." So I'm like, "Excuse me." And she says, "Yeah, that part in the song where she's like, did she put up a fight?"
That's not what they're talking about.
And I go, "You dare to question or throw mud? There's so many layers, so many breakthrough.
But that's not even what they're talking about.
Breakthrough shit. Yeah. And there were black people in that movie. There was sex in that movie.
Well, think about how revolutionary Porky's was even.
Oh yeah, but Grease is older than Porky's.
No, I know, but Porky's was freaking badass, man.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Fuck yeah.
That was my horny movie.
Be like,
because you got to see what? Bush.
I just like the fucking movies, man. Clap your hands, everybody. Now, everybody, clap your hands. With lambda, 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 and Omega Mu. It's like, and then I got the keyboards and the shit. The fucking dude's got his. Oh, this shit's fucking great, man.
But see,
and then he's on the moon with that chick, and she thinks it's the one.
Which, I mean, really?
That's
what kind of drugs are you
That's
on?
kind of a rapey scene, but whatever.
That's a totally rapey scene. Not to mention, the dudes put cameras in everyone's dressing rooms and stayed up all night watching it. The other thing was, or actually, it was funny. I was talking. My kids and I were talking and laughing, carrying on about whatever, and they were like, "Dad, do you realize that you raised us with no television and you made us watch DVDs? We were raised on all black movies." She goes, "Our idea of the movies that we grew up with were Stomp the Yard, ATL, Drumline, the one with Bow Wow was roller skating back in the 70s.
Fucking
Roll Bounce.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh, that's a good movie. A real good movie. A real good movie.
Listen.
Nick Cage is in it.
I'm trying to find...
No, not Nick Cage. Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon's in it.
I'm trying to find the whole series of... Fred Sanford. Sanford and Son.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that show was so fucking amazing.
Have you ever watched his stand-up?
Fucking Red Fox? Hell yeah.
That guy is a monster.
Right. He was saying some shit back then. I was like, damn, he's talking about eating assholes and shit.
But you know what, though? I'm going to tell you straight up, bro. Have you done... No, you haven't done an hour yet.
I've done 45 minutes.
I did 38 and a half minutes. That's my set. Well, I mean, 38 and a half minutes even. That's all I got. So now the April 14th, I'm filming the next special, and that's all new material. However, I'm doing a little blending. Because some of the stories, it's better. Like with me telling the story of my father, I want to mesh. Not talk about the storm as much as talk about the fuse box, that joke, and mesh it in with the birds, mesh it in. You haven't heard the latest thing, which it's all part of the story's going to continue now. Apparently, my dad said re-upped them, got now a new bunch of birds that he has in the house, which is like there's a screen room, enclosed room that he built in addition to the house, but it's half indoor, half outdoor. Apparently, a snake dug its way into that room and obliterated the fucking birds. So my dad turns the lights on and goes,
"Are you fucking serious?" He's lost them twice?
Now, think about this now. These little birds were in the room. They were in my dad's house.
Mijo, this is too much for my heart. I got a like George Lopez. I got a pain on my chest.
He's depressed.
And I can't breathe.
That's one of my favorite George Lopez bits.
Dude, George Lopez is fucking hilarious. I can't breathe.
Breathe.
I got a pain on my chest. And I can't breathe.
They're all such fucking beasts, man.
Dude, he to me, dude, he's one of my favorites. He's one of my favorites.
Listen to me, man. George Lopez, all of his specials are really strong.
Dude, how amazing would it be if him and Ron White went on tour together? George Lopez and Ron White. I would go to that show. I'd go to that show all day.
I would like to go to Bert Kreischer in Tampa. Whenever that happens, I don't know.
Oh, I was gonna say, when it's coming, because I'll go to that.
But that's his hometown,
I know.
so I would think that it would be an especially good show. Another one who just left was Joey Diaz. He was at Tampa.
I thought he was in Denver just recently.
Maybe before that.
Oh,
but,
okay.
I mean, and recently is because I just heard him talk about.
I'd like to go see him.
Joey Diaz.
I'm telling you, man, his podcast has been really helpful to me in my comedian journey. Like
he gets deep.
He really breaks into the minutia of the business and how it all works and how to audition and how to do this and how to do that. And like the one thing that's consistent with all of it is you have to be out there. You're only seen by somebody if you're out there. You're not out there, nobody sees you.
Are you going to get after that podcast end of your little empire, or are you going to keep audio only and shit?
We're going to keep audio only for now, and we've got some stuff coming up that we're working on as far as video production stuff. That's what we're really
just
going to do.
FYI, when I get the next episode, I'll forward it to you.
Yeah.
But just look at what Zenith is doing with his iPhone.
Oh yeah.
I'm saying, like, it's pretty impressive.
Oh, I know. No, there's no doubt. Even with my phone and my mount for it that I have for the tripod, that we could get great video and audio.
Just so that the people can. There are a certain percentage of people that listen, and then there are also a weird percentage that want to watch.
We're gonna get there with that. But as of right now, we have a lot more sketch-oriented stuff in mind.
That's right. Yeah, I know you're on point with that.
And little shorts and stuff that we've got planned. As soon as my beard grows in, that's all I'm going to say. As soon as my beard grows in, get ready, because the first video will be incoming, and it's going to be hilarious.
Well, we've got the 3 rooms that we're working out of. I want to do, which is, I guess, the closest thing in my mind. I'm not really interested in the sketch stuff. I feel like I've outgrown that part of it. I will assist you because I will pursue. I want to lift up comedy.
I love sketch comedy. I think there's a lot of brilliant sketch comedy that's out there that people don't get to see a lot of unless you're really looking for it. And it's stuff that's funnier than the shit you're seeing on Saturday Night Live. But you gotta hunt for it. And
I just don't have like it's.
Well, you can be more creative though if you're publishing it yourself and you're putting it straight to YouTube or Vimeo. I always screw that up. You control the content. You don't have to be as cookie cutter as a major network's show does, like Saturday Night Live. You can be a little more sharp. You can be a little bit more edgy. You can take things a little further than they can because you have the liberties to do so. And that's the type of content that's really pushing right now. And Saturday Night Live hits and misses with the political stuff. The political stuff really gets them going. But other than that, Trump saved them.
my interest and that's like I said, I feel you because I know that's a passion for you.
Yeah.
So I understand. And that's where you go with it. I feel you on it, and I'm gonna be right there with you, supporting you and helping you any way I can, and vice versa. Like I'm looking at the radio station, and I'm also my next delve is promos. Again, because I'm the Damon Dash of comedy, and I'm interested in the business aspect of it. I see the value of making promos, 30-second promos. My big mind blow. Here's my big mind fuck. Right. I don't know. Maybe you even know. What is a 30? If I went to, let's say you would make a 30-second commercial for me. How much would you charge for that? How much is the going rate? $50 an hour? $100 an hour?
I wouldn't. I've never looked into it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I just do it.
I see things like $50 an hour, $100 an hour. I see even $25 an hour. My vision would be, if I can make it real cookie cutter as far as like make it do some cool things, like more or less like the Gina G thing, not like my thing was fun, and my thing blew dude's mind. Yeah. But my whole thing would be is, if I had, first of all, I look at the color promos that I do, those little 4x4s. I don't know, we might have even discussed this already, but what if let's say you owned a restaurant, right, and you had 5 days a week that you wanted to do ads that are special promos that you can send out on Instagram, Facebook, or make a promo for it, video. But the deal is, it's all just moving slides like the Gina G thing, super fast, super easy, quick. But the deal is I'll give you I'll give you a choice. You'll have, let's say you could do like 1 a week, 3 a week, or even 5 a week, and you have 3 different packages. But the trick is, it would only be like $30 a month. $30 a month, and I'll give you 5 a week. Because I can make those so fast, right? What are you laughing for?
So I love this guy. He's like,
listen, I can do that so fast.
He's selling monthly subscriptions.
Right. If you had a small restaurant and you were older, like my dad would love to have that ability, and then he could post how he wanted to post. Or what if I even got that for him? For a small fee, I'll even do your boosts and shit for you.
Aye, Captain.
You know what I mean? But if you had $30 a month, but what if you had 100 different companies doing that with you per month? See what I'm saying?
I'm not. Hey.
No, I'm not asking you. I'm not asking for confirmation. I'm saying this is where my mind.
I'm telling you, I think it's a good idea.
So here's the trick, though. Those little 30-second videos, which is the max you can put on a Facebook for those little ads, those little fast ads. You can so do it for like double it. So $60 a month. I'll do 4 a week, and we make them super fast. And you'll have all these different ones, and then you can post it to where you schedule it, and I'll even organize that. I'm sure there's a possible way that those will launch on certain days. So Monday, the Monday ad post, Tuesday, you know what I mean, without them having to think about it. But the thing about it is doing just that. How easy would it be to whip those out in the back office? You know what I mean?
Right.
See what I'm saying? That's the interest I'm in. Because that's guaranteed money.
Guaranteed.
And then my business card shit.
I know, monthly subscription service. I love it.
But is it not a good idea?
I think it's a good idea. It's just like, that's like everything now. It's like those like loot box shits like these motherfuckers are getting. Like, these motherfuckers are paying $20 a month or whatever the fuck it is, $20 or $30, and they're getting this little loot box, and it's got like one thing that's like $13, and then a bunch of little tchotchke shit, and maybe a t-shirt or a comic book. It's literally not worth wholesale. It's probably worth like 50 fucking cents, that whole goddamn box, and they're charging you $20 a month for it. And people are into this shit, man. They're like falling for this subscription service of like these loot boxes and shit. And some of them get 4 or 5 of these subscriptions. Like, they're paying $70, $80 a month to $120 a month fucking on this shit, dude. It's crazy.
But you see, the thing about it though is I think I'm like,
well, you're a service.
What one person would want to think, oh, I couldn't do that for less than $100, and I'm like, dude, I'll do 4 for $100 a week.
So you're providing an actual service. These people are just fucking ching.
So and have you seen? And the word eludes me, but there's it's like you buy these ridiculously priced items because they're limited. I think that's what it's called, limited.
Oh yeah, that shit. You saw that shit, like the weird shit that they put on?
Yeah, like a hammer.
Right. This fucking hammer, $75,000. Why?
Because it's limited.
Fucking limited. Limited to what?
Now, I mean, I don't know about 75,000, but from what I understand,
some of that shit got really retarded.
I think the hammer's like 500. I mean, that's a fucking expensive hammer. Right. Just because it says limited.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but like, dude, it's a fucking hammer. That shit's gonna hammer like the hammer you bought at Home Depot. It's till it doesn't anymore. I
got another guy that I'm supposed to be interviewing soon, and I only interviewing him because I reached out to him because it's interesting. He's got and I don't even know how I can make this work for me, but I just want to see it. I'm really curious about stuff. This guy has that material that, like the one you put around the cup and then it shrinks, but he can do like he did a four-wheeler, all the parts, and he had like glowing purple skulls and real detailed, and it like forms around it. Yeah. And I want to know, can you do that with cars? What are we doing here? And he's like, oh yeah, it's an old process. And I'm like, fuck, I want to see it. Another one that I want to go see is in Wesley Chapel, is the smallest giant operation. So they're willing to talk to me, is the 3D printing. The guy made a skull for Mikey Judd, the animatronic red skeleton. The new skull was made there, and it has it where the camera will go in and stuff, and the nose hole proper. It fits perfect, all made for. And I just want to see that. That's another curiosity of mine. Like
3D printing is really cool.
Well, they have 3D printing now with concrete, and then they're already working on it to start making food.
Yeah, I know. They're gonna 3D print meat.
Well, it's gonna be something.
Oh no, they I've seen it, like footage of them actually. They can do it. It's just really expensive. It's not cost effective. No, it's real meat.
Yeah, I know, but it's not like you put your fork in it and cut it with a knife and go ribeye. No, it's going to be a rectangular shape. Yeah. Might even be rounded, so it kind of looks like a steak. But it's going to probably be more of like a.
It looks like cubes.
It'll probably be like if you've ever gone to these they're not. I don't know if they're vegan or vegetarian. I don't even know the difference, but it's like this is steak and this is fried chicken, and you eat it and it's like, yeah, it's kind of the same texture and it kind of tastes like it, but it doesn't look like it, and it's not. You can cut it with a fork.
Well, they're actually growing meat in labs, so it's like identical.
Thick pudding. Yeah, I know, but that's not 3D rendered.
No, it's not 3D printed, but they are doing that. And well, the 3D printing, man, like they've already done whole houses. They've 3D printed entire houses with that concrete one.
Yeah.
And it's insane.
Yeah.
And it does it in like half the time.
Right. Yeah, that's badass.
And there's people in there fucking, and it accounts for all the plumbing and the electrical and everything. It's all fucking done. 3D printing is I think is the way of the future. I think it's absolutely going to replace home building, and robots are going to replace all of us. So being a comedian is a good job to have, because if it works,
drones can't do it.
Right? Fucking basically. Dude, I'm fucking terrified about fucking Skynet. Like there was a post on Facebook and about that little dog robot, and everybody was like, "Oh, isn't it adorable?" And I'm like, "That thing opened a fucking door." No, it's not. That is a death machine. And when that fucking Skynet shit happens, that little thing's gonna be coming after you. Imagine that thing chasing you down.
Most folks said that Wall Street fell, but we were so broke that we couldn't tell. I don't know. I know the dog robot that opened and closed the door. I get that.
We are playing with fire with artificial intelligence, and great minds like Elon Musk and what's fucking handy cripple name? Stephen Hawking. Love that guy. Stephen Hawking are saying, look, dude, you guys got to tone this shit down. If we're not careful, we could create an artificial intelligence that is smarter than us, doesn't need us, and thinks we're redundant. Well, dude, they're saying a machine that's that advanced. You know how it took hundreds of thousands of years for human civilization to evolve and stuff like that, from the time we evolved into humans? It's a massive amount of time to us, but to the machines, they could do 10,000 generations in 2 years. Like they would rapidly advance. There would be, it's a real possibility, and we're just fucking playing with it. Like it's like, oh, well, we got it to do this now. No, man. How long? 5, 10, 15 years until.
When the shit goes down,
when they fuck
you better
up,
be
man.
ready. You better be ready.
I'm telling you,
when
man.
The shit goes down.
I'm not like a conspiracy theorist guy, but I'm worried about fucking machines, man. I'm really.
You sound like a conspiracy.
Fuck that. Dude. You can't tell me you would get in one of those cars that drives itself, sit in the back seat, and just fucking read a book or watch a movie while this little thing fucking drives you around.
No, I wouldn't. But My kids will.
I watched them
And
drop
their
off.
kids will.
Oh, it's so fucking weird, man.
Listen, bro. Let me break it down to you.
I could never let a machine fucking take control. It can be hacked.
Listen.
It can be hacked.
Listen, Linda.
Oof.
I'll go. Let's take it. That's 2 every day. I'll give you one better. Ford has a pickup truck that will drop your boat for you. Back it in.
Yeah, I saw that shit.
And Ford has it where it'll back a trailer in. And Ford has it where now semis will be the next, but right now, so where you can parallel park with a huge trailer.
They've already got self-driving semis.
Well, yeah, but it's not all like they're on the road right open right now. They're testing them. There's a lot, but let me tell you something.
They just had that one go from Denver to California or some shit.
I understand, but listen. They have you noticed you haven't been hearing about much of that self-driving car shit? The reason why is because they turned it on in San Francisco and it was a shit show. They fucked everything up. So it's not quite ready. Even though there might be one car driving all over the fucking country.
Tesla gave the villages a bunch of them.
I know, but
I watched them drop these old people off at the store the other day, and then this little fucker drove off by itself, and I'm just like...
You want to have a good one? Look at YouTube, people sleeping Teslas going to work. And they're like this, in the driver's seat.
Fuck that, dude. There's no fucking way.
So that's the...
There's no way I let a machine...
But let me tell you something else, though. Here's the thing, though, that is going to be interesting. Everything is going to slow way down. Because these cars stop and go so smoothly that you don't even lean. So how fucking fast? So everything's going to go 30 miles an hour, and young people, the future generations, are not going to think anything of it because they've got this. Which eventually now, I don't even know. First of all...
Well, they're phasing out manual transmissions already. It's like you try to find one. They're fucking hard to find.
Who the hell needs one? They're garbage anyways.
No, they're not.
Oh, stop it. The only time you need a stick shift is if you have a really cool sports car. Otherwise, automatics are better. All day, every day.
Dude, you have way more control with a manual transmission than you do with an automatic.
The point, though, is by and by, on average, a car with an automatic will go longer before you have to replace the clutch and a stick. Period. So, and the whole gas mileage thing is a moot point anyways, because back in the day when stick shifts got better gas mileage than automatics was back in the day when 18 miles an hour was a big improvement. Now, base model 4-cylinder automatics get 30 miles to the gallon. So it's like, no big deal. Now, the big thing now that what I see that and they were like, I thought they were doing it, and then it seems like they're straying off. It's weird how the patterns are, but I'm still waiting for them to come out with a really affordable, super efficient, easy to drive car. Something like mid-size, like a Corolla, but some company doesn't come out, because I thought they were about to launch them where they're like, this car is $6,000. See what I'm saying? Like a brand new car.
I remember hearing about that company, but I don't remember who they were, and I don't.
Well, I think the big companies buy them up.
Well, they do that, and then you never see it.
Right.
Just like Ford had a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle, and then ExxonMobil bought it. They bought the rights to it, and so that's why we don't have a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle on the road. So, thanks, oil company. Awesome.
Well, I often say, and it's kind of and listen, if you want to be a giant vagina and bail, you can. I just want to let you know. I mean, whenever you want. But we can keep going until you die out. I'm retired.
I don't even know how long it is.
I'm retired.
I'm also retired.
So we can be retired.
It's so funny. Before I left, people that I older folks and whatever that shop in there were, I was telling them, they're like, it's like some Friday was my last day, and they were like, oh, what are you doing? I was like, I'm retired. I'll be hanging out on the golf course with you people, giving you a hard time. And they're like, oh, you will be. I was like, yeah. Because somebody's got to. Well, I'll just be out there washing my balls like Bill Murray from back in Caddyshack and be like, oh, yeah. There you are, Miss McGillicuddy. Oh, you're looking good there. Blue skirt.
Down up here, 4 or 5 castles, because we live in castles. This is a castle in the basement. This is a basement castle. Anyhow,
what?
since this is my world and my universe, I explained to them that this is the basement room of a castle somewhere in the world. So in another castle down the road, there's a single wide castle down on the right.
This looks like if fucking Count Dracula was filming a porno.
I'm getting ready to install. The next step is I'm going to install the LEDs, and we're getting ready to start doing stand up in here. We're going to move all the tables, and this will be the
hey,
and it'll say, comedy show or whatever, comedy room. And
he's like, it'll say comedy something, man. Comedy, man.
What's this comedy? Be like really funny and shit.
It's gonna be comedy.
And it'll have the LEDs, and we're gonna have 4 little tables with tablecloths and centerpieces and candles, and 2 people at each table. So there'll be 8 in the room. The camera will go all the way to the back wall, and we're gonna film comedy shows out of this room.
Yeah.
Little 5-minute sets. People will just, they can film all they want, but we're gonna make little 5-minute clips.
We're gonna get like an audience, or just...
Yeah, 8 people, 4 little tables. You know the little ones that you put that tablecloth over? It's like a round wood and then 3 little legs.
This was filmed before a live studio audience.
And then,
yeah.
And then we're gonna do the Moroccan pillow room in the back.
Moroccan pillow room.
Oh, what I was going to tell you was...
You're going to have a hookah in the center?
Absolutely.
Dressed like the Beatles when they went to India?
Well, I don't know about dressing like the Beatles, but my game plan is to have a giant hookah.
These hookahs are amazing.
So you go 2 doors up on the right.
Yeah.
There's a guy who backed in a big-ass, car hauler trailer, and he's took the wheels off of it, and he's building a house on top of it, and he's gonna live in that bitch with no permit, no title, because he's off the ground. He's like basically a 5th wheel camper, but he's building a single wide. It's just right down here on the right. The guy's built. Look at this fucking wheels turning.
Fucking rednecks, Jesus Christ! They got some ingenuity. I'll give them that.
Hey, down over here in Bellevue, and I hear he's actually there's a guy who took a carport with the sides and made it into a
just
garage.
Walled it off.
But listen, he has this little fucking white picket fence in front of it, and he has a smart car, so it looks like this weird, shrunken. But he has
playing Mario or something.
But dude, he's like one of these old ass smart guys who can build shit out of anything. So he actually has full on house in there. So he had power, and the fucking city figured out he was there, and they told him he couldn't have power, so now this bitch has solar panels and all kinds of cool wind things and shit. I can show you the place down the street.
What the fuck?
But the thing is there's a lot of really unique things. The one thing I find funny is tiny house. The tiny house
concept. I don't
concept,
like that shit.
No, hold up. The tiny house concept is cool, but I don't dig how corporate...
Oh, it's taking it over.
And now for $64,000.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, you buy at $64,000 for a 5th wheel camper?
Right.
Are you fucking crazy?
Yeah, dude.
Now the original idea...
It's got a real teakwood inlay.
When you could build it, when they used to show you the one where you had the loft, you couldn't stand up in your bedroom.
No.
But it was like $2,500, dude, done.
Okay, but you could still get somebody to build you one like that. If you hired your own builder, you could still get whatever you wanted done. Point is, could you see me living in some shit like that? I would fucking kill people so fast. I'd be claustrophobic.
Yeah, but you know what? You should go take a look at is. Well, anyways, we should go start fucking off. Anyways, now that you're retired, we should go hit open mics on the West Coast, because I want to start hitting Tampa more, especially when you get another car and then we both go down to work, dude. Anyways, that's a different story. But my COA that I go to in Madeira Beach, they have the little ugly little cabin that looks like a log cabin from the Weeblos. And then
fucking Weeblos.
And then they have where they're like the end of it is the front of the house, and they built this gorgeous deck on it. But you get these, they almost, dude, it's got a king size bed, full, not a full, it's a king size bed, and it's got this little living room area, and then it's got a master bathroom, and then it's got a room over here that's got bunk beds, and you can change that room out any way you want. And then there's one other one that's even bigger than that is super dope. I mean, in my opinion, I could live in there, but I'm also an odd bird. I basically live in my bedroom. The kitchen, you see what I do with it, nothing. So my whole thing is like I could live in a small space and be happy. I actually embrace the idea. I would need more space for my wardrobe than I would for a place to live.
Bro, I couldn't. Fuck that shit, dude. No, it's too tiny, man. It's too tiny. I don't need a giant space.
No.
But I want to feel like a human being. Like, I feel like all these people buy those little tiny homes like a status symbol almost at this point. Where it's like the new fucking Prius is what it really is. It's like, look at us, we're helping the environment, we're reducing our carbon footprint. Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I'm with you. I understand. And the other thing too, and the reason why, like, since the beginning, I've been trying my best to chip away at your know-it-all personality and try to get to the idea that if you could buy something with cash, like we're talking about, that way they can't ever take it from you, bro. You know what I mean?
I understand that concept. I just don't want to buy, like...
But do you understand what homestead exemption is? Do you understand what that means? Yes? You totally, 100%?
100%.
So you know what the 25,000 means?
Yes.
Okay. So if you buy a house, I bought mine for $26,500.
Right.
If you buy a house for $30,000, homestead exemption said for the first $25,000 is free. So you only pay taxes on $5,000. Oh, you didn't know shit. You're just nodding your head like you know, and I'm trying to teach you something.
I'm saying.
So
like,
my taxes every year are $200 a year. My parents pay $4,000 because they have a badass house.
Right.
But the point is that's how, as a comedian, to chase your dreams, you always have something you can fall back on. You don't have to insure it. This fucking castle is uninsurable.
Right.
It doesn't qualify. God forbid something happens, you fix it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the thing is that's what homestead exemption is. And the deal is like what you said with your boy renting, just cover the expenses.
Yeah.
You know, as long as he stays there, bro, you're gold. You can hit the road and you can drive Uber.
Right.
In between working open mics, in between
cities and shit.
This will blow your mind because I'm fixing to try it my damn self. Your boy, you know who? Shout out David Jolly. He and I sat down and had a long talk. And fucking David Jolly. First of all, David Jolly, when I knowed you before I got to know you, you get too fucked up in public. Okay, and I don't care if you're not getting paid. I thought you were fucking crazy when I first saw you because you were so fucked up. But anyways. He actually calls comedy clubs himself and be like, hey man, I'm a headliner in Florida, blah, blah, blah. And he's getting booked in like weird, obscure small rooms.
Yeah.
But he's getting gigs. See what I'm saying? And the thing is he doesn't even have the option. I don't know, maybe he does. I've never seen him drive. I always see him drive with somebody. So my whole thing is... A lot of
guys, if they're going to the same place...
But if you are doing a show in Georgia, you can ride Uber while you're down there. And even if you only make a few bucks, your goal is you make it kind of a trick, see if you can cover your expenses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dude, I went to... You ready to wrap it up?
Yeah.
All right.
You want to wrap it up? Or we do like a final thing?
Do your message to the universe.
Okay.
It's not like you're not going to come back a lot.
I know.
Takes dick in his ear.
You know, this podcast was a really good thing. It's talking about retirement and chasing a dream. Don't regret anything, even if it doesn't work out for you. Do it. Don't be that person that's old and sits back and thinks of their life and says, what if? What might have been? I think that's probably one of the worst things you could ever have to live with. So I'm out there. He's out there. We're doing this whole thing and it's awesome. It's gonna be really good. It's gonna be a lot of work, but it's gonna be really good. I'm super excited about it. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming on. Before we wrap up, thank you so much for coming on. Jesse Chudeusz at whatever social media. By the time this goes up, all his shit will be underneath. But in addition to that, next to my castle is a single wide castle, and it's an ugly single wide castle. Okay, and I've been in my castle for 22-ish years. And in the 22 years that I've been here, I've watched that castle be moved in 3 different times by people who worked their entire life, whatever they could save, so that when they retired, they could move into that ugly ass single wide castle next to my castle, and within a year they were dead.
What?
That's the truth about retirement.
Wow.
So the point is, I see this in my vision, and then my parents waited their whole life to get to that certain perfect point to retire,
right.
And now their health has declined to the point that they're not able to enjoy quality time. And now this is why
that's the truth.
If you can outsmart the system and lower your expectations and standards of material value, you can live beneath the wire, off the grid, so to speak, in the sense that in your 30s, you can now live the rest of your life doing what you want.
Right.
And that's exactly what that's what this whole episode, fuck, we probably been here way too long, but we don't give a fuck, because we're retired. And
I like how you looked at the smoke alarm like it was a clock.
No, there's a clock right there.
Oh, because you're like,
right there, dumbass.
We've been here way too long. That smoke alarm looks like a clock.
So, universe, this was the retirement episode. This is 2 fucking guys. I'm 42, you're?
35.
35 is weird how you had to think about it for a moment. We're retired, motherfuckers. Now, does that mean we're super rich? No. That means we gotta hustle a little bit.
I'm 35 and I got more gray in my beard than you do in yours.
Well, you know, and I'm
something fundamentally wrong with this shit.
And I ain't just for men and neither. I'm gonna let that shit get all Dos Equis manned out.
I am not even ashamed. I have spent the last 15 years of my life, the prime years where my beard wouldn't have been any gray in it, working for a company that I couldn't have a beard.
One last thought and then we're done.
What?
Whole Foods is going to switch to that setup where you can, your cart, as you put shit in the cart,
it rings it up like Amazon has.
Is it? Well, I think
they're owned by Amazon.
Isn't it ironic that the company that was perpetuating you wearing blue jeans to work and being a family market has gotten rid of all their family, and the organic, earthy, not leaving a footprint has gotten rid of their entire workforce of human beings?
Listen. Look, Amazon's gonna rule the world. That guy's the richest, Bezos or whatever. He's the fucking richest guy in the world now. In the world, he's $105 billion. This dude owns the planet, and he has invested heavily in all of these technology startups. And then when the startups bear fruit, and a lot of them have been, he's just reaping those technological rewards. Like Amazon is on the verge of being a monopoly if it gets too much bigger and buys too much more stuff. They're just gonna. That's how everything's gonna come to you.
You want to hear something crazy though?
Yeah.
Remember my analogy about Amazon and Wish? Mm-hmm. That you have a rectangle table that seats 6. Amazon represents one small corner of the table. Yeah. Wish is the rest of the table. What Amazon is to the United States and their impact that they leave on the world, Wish.com is twice the size or 3 times the size of Amazon. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that a mind-blowing thought?
Yeah.
To me, it just blows my mind. Universe, we out. Thank you so much. Love, peace, chicken grease. We'll see you next time. We out here, AB. Peace. Thanks again for coming. Salud to retirement.
Salud.
Cocksuckers.
Get well, Kevin Smith.
Did he make it? You know what else? The fat guy, the black guy. Rick Ross.
Oh, he had a heart attack?
Fucked up. Like
really?
He's on his deathbed right now. So, Godspeed, Rick Ross. And this is why I need to start losing weight.